Alrighty. Hello, good morning. Imagine some high quality editing. Cut to the intro. It's time for React-ceptions. We're doing things a little bit differently. We're traveling back in time to a time not so long ago, in a place not so far away, because we're still on Twitch. And it seems reactions with Asmongold already happened while I was sleeping. You didn't let me know you were reacting, dude. What the heck? Yeah, he seems like he always condones these reactions, so I've been having a lot of fun just taking topics of discussion and sort of reacting to his chat. Think of me as like a glorified commenter. I hope you enjoy. Let's hop right in. I think let's hopefully not get into some copyrighted music here. I see him surfing around on Spotify. We might have to jump ahead because these look like copyrighted songs.
No way.
Oh no. Oh no.
Be honest with you. No, I really am.
There we go.
I don't know where it's gonna go. I mean,
Here
probably not somewhere good, but it's certainly gonna be a fucking show. I'll tell you that.
Skyrim music.
How can
Beautiful.
you win with the same opponent? Because people don't like Biden. Like, I think that we're really like if Trump had run against Biden.
I don't think it matters if it's Biden or not. I think people just don't like Democrats. But people are not liking Biden, especially because he just has every old man stereotype you can think of. And there are so many memes from all of his like stumbles and falls. Literal sense, not theoretically.
In 2020, and Trump wasn't the incumbent, I think Trump would have won then too. It's just because people weren't happy about. I think Trump just lost because of COVID. To be honest, I feel like that's the main reason. And if it wasn't for COVID, he'd have won.
Actually, probably.
Are you sick? I don't think so. No. Who's your pops going for? Not Trump.
I could see that.
Trump. Fucking, absolutely fucking hates him. So, I don't think he really likes Biden either, but, yeah, it's about it. Most people just wait until election time to be invested into him because they drew their conclusions already based on the actions. Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody already knows what to think, right? Smart man. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into politics of it, right? I mean, we'll watch the...
I don't know a whole lot about politics, but I know, generally speaking, people really don't involve themselves with the know-how and platforms of each political party. They just say, well, I voted red, and stuff didn't really happen, so I think I'm gonna vote blue. Or vice versa. That's really all it ever is, which is annoying, but c'est la vie.
The debate, etc., right? But, you know, or the last debates. I've been really busy recently, so I haven't had time. But, yeah, at some point I will do that.
Also, I heard that there's going to be a televised court proceedings of Trump in Georgia. That could be really intriguing to watch. Some people, you know, were watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court proceedings for entertainment. I was just watching out of pure interest as someone who came from a family that had some like domestic disputes in the past. I was very interested to see like what becomes of this when the people who are actors as professionals might potentially be acting with some of the claims that they're making under oath. Like that would be very interesting. So I was intrigued. I wasn't like, oh, I hope one person's life gets ruined. I just wanted to see what the outcome would be. And now there's a Netflix special that actually includes Asmongold in it. So I should watch that at some point just to kind of recap, because it's been a while since I've seen that. all I know is every time people were speaking, objection hearsay. Objection hearsay.
Where do you get your styrofoam cups? I just go to the gas station, man. That's it.
Nice.
Can you make the mugshot an emote? Would be sick. That's actually really smart. Hassan should do that. That'd actually be really smart. He should 100% fucking do that. Make that an emote. Oh my god, that's such a good idea. Are you gonna go to TwitchCon? He did. He's a smart guy. So, am I gonna go to TwitchCon? I probably not. No. Like, I don't like traveling. I don't like going out. I don't like doing any of this stuff. Like, I don't like it.
I could not relate more. I don't like going out either. I'm such a homebody.
And who knows? It's in like a middle of October or something like that. It's not for a while, so like I don't really have plans. So I just don't know. I mean, maybe I'll go, maybe not. Like I don't like leaving the house. I don't like going to events. I don't like traveling. I like being in my house and doing my thing.
Right.
You know, that's it.
Same.
You get swarmed by weirdos wanting selfies anyway. That's the best part about it. Like, because those are viewers. Like, I go to the events for the viewers. You think I go there to meet other fucking streamers? Of course not. No, I go there for the viewers, take pictures with everybody, and then I leave. Like, I don't want to...
To be honest, like, other streamers would go to TwitchCon to meet him and be like, hey, you want to do a collab? This is my way of doing a collab.
Go to network with people. I don't want to go to, you know, meet people or to, you know, boost my ego because people recognize me. I don't give a fuck about this. Like, I just want to go there. I know there's a lot of viewers that want to see me, take a picture, say hi. That's great. And then I fucking leave. That's exactly what I've done at every convention so far. I'll walk around the, you know, the center and then I'm done.
Yeah, I'd be more interested to go to, like, Gamescom than like something specifically for Twitch, I would think.
You care about your skin not burning off, Daywalker? Yeah, true. There is that. Let's see here. What are we gonna look at today? We'll look at a few things and then we're gonna start the game. I'll probably start it in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Realistically, you know. And it's true, I got a picture of you at TwitchCon. Yeah, there you go. I mean, and I have no problem taking like I'll take pictures with anybody at any time. Like I remember one time I had just gotten 2 teeth pulled out, and the kid at the dentist's office, he was working there. He was like, I know you. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, can I get a picture? I'm like, I just got my teeth pulled out, so I can't really smile. He's like, oh, that's fine. And so I took a picture with him, and I was like, blood on my mouth.
That's great.
So yeah, do a lot of female fans approach you? Well, of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah, no. No, of course
funny.
not. What do you mean?
Well, I mean...
Duh. Let's see this. Yeah, what female fans? Yeah, what are you talking about? Let's see this. The perfect
no maidens.
transition doesn't exist. What's this? BlizzCon 2017, I forget. Oh, I remember you. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we played Final Fantasy together. I remember you very well. Perfect transition doesn't exist. Here we go. It's wait, yo, is this TOS?
Uh-oh.
Hey, yo, if it's TOS, we're not gonna watch it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna watch it. I don't want to fuck around with it. Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. All right, Daenerys Targaryen inbreeding coefficient is 0.375. Charles II, the last Spanish of Habsburg, who was impotent, drooled, mentally disabled, could barely walk, had a coefficient of 2,254. Oh, I know. Well, he must be pretty excited today because Classic Hardcore came out. You know? It's a target audience right there.
Oh.
I'll have to go and look at some of...
That's a low blow. I mean, just because people really like the classic version of World of Warcraft doesn't mean that they're autistic for wanting to play it again for the 15,000th time. The two are not related. It's not a cause and effect scenario. But I mean, you know, it takes a special kind of person. Not that kind of special.
Some of the death compilations already. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, what the fuck do I know about this? Asmon after streaming Gent. This is what the fuck? What the fuck is this? This is so weird. Oh my god.
Is this like AI art?
Oh, I don't even know what to think about this.
It is AI art. It has a tag.
Like what is this? By the way,
It's
we made
disturbing.
Olympics on hardcore. Oh god. Yeah, it's. I don't know what to say. Asmon in 2 years. Yeah, he'll stream Genshin any day now. Yeah.
Cursed
really
image.
soon, guys. So he's looking clean? Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's ever going to happen. For me to clean up my hair this much would be too much. Let's see this here. Carnage could have done better. At
Oh.
what?
Does he blow him up? Poor Balin.
Hiding successful. Smart.
Oh no.
Wow.
Just the
Jeez,
face.
wow, okay, this really goes on. Oh shit.
Oh
okay,
no.
So
He's so
he died?
sad.
he's gotta be
He
dead,
just stops
right?
looking.
I mean, he's got. I feel like probably at some point it's got to show like a death screen.
Balin, are you okay?
I feel like we could have done that better.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Cause you have
I feel like we could have done that better.
Yeah. So like basically like yeah, that kind of.
you have Glut following you. You can't go in there with Glut.
I'm like fuck. Ooh, that's a bad time. Jesus. Let's see this. If video game companies made jigsaws, uh-oh. You
Oh,
know
no.
what this is gonna be. Let's do it. Let's see.
We can leave one piece out and then sell that piece for something on the shop.
it. Let's get it.
Hi there. Hello. Would you like to buy this puzzle from me? It's very nice. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a good looking puzzle. Here's my credit card. Okay, great. Thank you. There you go. Wait, the box says 1,000 pieces. Yeah. There are like maybe 100 pieces in here. Oh, yeah, that should be. Yeah, no, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. What do you mean? We'll send you more pieces, you know, once they're done. Okay, and what about this? This is paper. Yeah, that part's a piece of paper for now. This whole section of the puzzle is an uncut piece of paper. Well, you know, we weren't exactly done making the puzzle, but thank you so
no.
much for buying it, though. Why would you sell me this if it's not finished? Well, see, the thing is, we wanted the money now, so. You know, it's understandable. I don't think that means you didn't complete your end of the transaction is how I feel about it. But we will eventually, probably. This piece is clearly broken in two. Well, we could probably patch that with like some tape. This one is straight up a triangle. That's not gonna fit into anything. Oh, yeah, no, that's not supposed to be a triangle. We'll make that not a triangle at a certain point, I imagine. It should have not been a triangle right away. Oh, dude, I value that feedback so much. That has a lot of value to me. We'll fix that in like 4 months. 4 months? Now is when I paid to do the puzzle. But other than the missing or broken things, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, I can see the pixels on this thing. It looks nothing like the resolution of the box photo. Well, that's because, I mean, the box was done on a really, really good printer that most people can't afford or get their hands on. The nice photo is what made me want to buy the puzzle. Listen, you give us like a year, you're gonna really enjoy this puzzle. You're gonna go fix it? It's our #1 priority here. What are you saying? You're not just gonna move on to your next money-making scheme. I would never do that. Okay. Would you like to buy an extension for the puzzle, though? Oh my god. It's only $30.
Wow.
So the worst part about this is that it made me mad because it was so accurate.
It was very accurate.
Like I wouldn't have like I there were some parts of it that I really felt.
What's interesting is like when you see it in the context of buying a puzzle, there's so many things wrong with that. Like you should be livid. But the fact that it's this non-tangible product where your expectations are somewhat shifted and are left to be open-ended, your reaction is not as visceral. Putting it in this context really highlights the problems with Diablo 4. The whole meme is just like D4 bad. This cat. I don't know what this emoji is, but it's cat despair. Oh my gosh.
You know, like I just really felt that like it was just so like I guess this guy played Diablo 4.
Man.
OTK.
Oh no.
All of a sudden.
Let's mute this because I'm sure it's a copyrighted song. It's another one of these AI deepfakes where they take Asmon's face and put him on a wrapper. It doesn't look that good to me. Like, I can tell this is AI. There's like this wobbly, polished look. It gives me the same feeling I always had when I was watching like America's Funniest Home Videos, and they would superimpose like a couple of different faces of a person while it was just like on screen. Yeah. All right.
So you can tell this shit's fake, man.
You can tell.
Yeah, that you know this shit was fake. I could tell, yeah. Let's see this. VTuber fixes her settings.
Uh-oh.
なんか私動いてないな。
I'm not moving.
あれ、おかしいな。ちょっと待って、設定見
Take
て
a
み
look
る
at the
ね。
settings again.
これじゃなくて、
Uh-oh.
これかな。これオンにすればいけそう。
よし、これでなお。
That's great. I expected that.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
No, it's not real. I bet it's not real, but it's still funny.
It's funny.
AAA game devs seeing Baldur's Gate 3 released and realizing they actually have to make good games now.
Is this a movie? What movie is this?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, true. Let's see this. What the fuck? Sick Moenia tattoo. Wow, holy shit. That's actually that's on somebody's arm? Oh my
Whoa.
god. That's incredible. Bro, I thought that was like a fucking picture or something. That's
My first thought was, look at the graphics.
fake. I mean, if it's not, it's amazing. That's incredible, man. Carl Urban got featured in the new, I want to say Assassin's Creed Armored Core trailer. Turns out he's a mech nerd. I saw this. Y'all want to look at this? Look, real quick. Let's see if I pick this up.
First of all, no matter how boring Assassin's Creed has become, AC will not start representing Armored Core. AC will always be Assassin's Creed. Or air conditioning. Those are the two. You don't get that.
Where the fuck is this? Twitch Simp Final Boss. I should probably watch this. Learn some tips. Let's see what this is. Yeah. Check this out.
What was that?
Armored Core 6 fires Rubicon live action trailer.
Think you're ready? Let's get to work.
Ooh.
I've seen your kind before. Another hound searching for its next meal.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
Maybe you're in it for glory. For fortune. Either way, it's not gonna be a walk in the park. But in an armored core, you might just stand a chance. There are no rules
This is
here,
cool. Damn.
so bring the fight as you see fit.
Wow.
Be ruthless. Be swift. Do whatever it takes to get the job done. Welcome to Rubicon, mercenary. Feed the fire. Let the last cinders burn.
Dude, that's actually like, to me, I think this is so much fucking cooler whenever you
That seemed really awesome. But then I just watched some gameplay of him earlier before signing on, and I was like, this game's okay. I mean, I did always like mech games. I think one of them was literally called Mech Warrior or something like that. And I did play it. I did enjoy it, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of narrative to games like that. It's just jump in and shoot. It's like Call of Duty shoot a man.
you see him fucking, like, what is this? From 2003 at some random ass Japanese shop with a bunch of mech things. Oh my god, that is so fucking cool, man. That is badass.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
more so. I bet this probably could have been around at the same time as Lord of the Rings, I would guess, right? I mean, because they were both in Lord of the Rings. Holy shit, man. Holy fucking shit. That's so cool. That is actually so fucking badass. Wow. Let me see this. The perfect me. Oh, I saw this. I saw this already.
Oh yeah, good one.
Yeah, it's always cool to see dudes like this that are, you know, like actually really into it. You know, like
Linus Tech Tips versus
you know,
Nexus
have like
Steve.
a genuine interest that are part of you know, games or like trailers or something like that. It's so badass. Thanks to Asmongold. Might sound cringe, but I want to thank Asmongold for his fundraising in early 2022 for Ukraine and for helping and supporting Zeppela, creating comfy, relaxing content. What's this here? Helps a lot of cases getting away from the war, rockets and drones. Holy fuck! I don't know, it looks frustrating people in the U.S. whenever it goes to helping Ukraine. I want to say thank you all as well. You're really helping save lives. Sorry for the cringe post. Smiley. Yeah, bro, like... I'm glad to be a distraction. I bet, honestly, I bet it fucking sucks. I cannot imagine how much it fucking sucks.
People were very afraid for me moving to Finland because I'm now so close to the war. But like, you know, every day when I'm walking outside and I can see that there's Ukrainian refugees, it's rough to think about how their life has been turned upside down. Their homes being destroyed and their whole lives being uprooted and taken to some foreign country where they don't feel as welcome as they did back home. It's rough. So I'm glad there is support like this out there. People are getting really mad about World of Warcraft doing the like Mila Kunis selling some in-game pets to like raise money, but I think that's the one time where this FOMO of like limited time offering to raise money for Ukraine is actually valuable. So more of that, please.
Is awful. What's this here? Me explaining that Earth went from being a survival-based MMORPG to a game filled with microtransactions that constantly screws over the most dedicated fan base, my history professor. Yeah, bro, like, I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a survival-based. Bro, this shit was pay to win as fuck back in the day. You remember the king? He had all the money. The king was the whale and everybody else was free to play. Like, I mean, that's really what I feel like now there's probably a little bit less microtransactions than it was before. Always has been, yeah. Surviving Yagoo, 30 minutes, level 100 plus, 1 collab, 3 collab, 1 super. What's a super collab? What the fuck is this?
I don't know what.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh,
What
I guess
the
that's
fuck is
game
happening?
terminology.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's right. When you take certain items that are like fully leveled, putting them together is called a collab. That's right.
Oh my god. He's got 200 health. Holy
There's so much
shit.
happening on the screen.
Look at this. Anime Vampire Survivors. This game's actually really good, man. Like,
And it's free to
I'm gonna
play.
be real.
I should
Like,
try
I actually
this.
think this game's incredible. You see a Trump tweet yet? I did. Yeah.
You know what I like about games like this, and I'd like to design a game like it too someday, is it's so like, I don't mean to say low quality in the sense of the game itself, but it looks like it can be played on any machine. Like the most potato computer can run this reasonably. So I think that's cool. Unless maybe you have this many things going on, maybe then it might start running into some problems, but it seems very accessible as a free-to-play game, and I like that.
Look at this. Oh my god. So where's the end part of it? I want to see her fight the boss. Oh, what the fuck?
I think that's the dev.
Wait. What the hell?
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, they're running her down. Bro, she about to die.
Oh boy.
Just barely got away.
It's like navigating through a labyrinth
Jesus.
of these faces. Oh my goodness.
Did these things even fucking die?
Oh, one of them was trapped in ice. Why'd you break it free?
I don't even know if they do.
Super
Is this
collab?
endless? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'm assuming you can play as long as you want to.
Bro, it's doing so much damage too. Look at all that damage. It's insane.
Back to full health. Wow.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
fucking god.
Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Oh,
Ooh, this is not
no.
good.
Oh,
Bro, she's
sustaining.
dead.
No, they're healing. Oh, never mind.
Ooh. That's crazy. What the fuck, bro? Like, so is this like the
Damn.
HoloCure version of the Reaper?
This must be like the ultimate high score.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different in this game. Most intense roast battle in Among Us VR.
You look like a square.
You look like pee.
You look like poopy butthole.
You look like a white fish.
You look like your mom.
You look like your dad
Retard.
that got stabbed like 25 years ago and now his body rotten.
Oh.
You look like a fat fish.
You look like a hot dog that got rotten years ago.
You look like a piece of celery that's been left out for 10 days.
You look like broccoli that got fired in 1729.
You look like poop from the 1500s.
You look like a donut that got rotten.
You look like a donut with no frosting.
You look like a donut without anything on it.
You look like a cheese pizza with no cheese.
You look like a pizza but only decrepit.
You look like a jelly bean.
You look like a peanut.
You look like an airplane with no wings.
You look like a car with no tires.
You look like a beehive.
You look like a cabinet that never got used.
You look like roadkill.
What is that?
See, you're so stupid. You don't even know what roadkill is.
I don't know.
That is the most wholesome trolling I've ever seen. I like that.
Yeah, bro, like you get this is what your kids are doing, you know? They're like yelling at like random fucking 25-year-old men.
Like, on the one hand, as a VR enthusiast, I can't stand seeing how many of these Facebook headsets have been sold and like undercut the competition of like far superior headsets. But it has brought about this whole VR Among Us craze where funny clips like this come out. So I mean, I guess there's that. VR is dead now. It's all about AI.
You know, like your 8-year-old, your like nice little kid is like fucking on the internet just like talking mad shit, fucking going ape shit like this. Yeah, they're learning exactly.
Yeah.
God damn. It's kind of funny. Which one of you tell me the tea tastes different? You put it in hot water?
Which one of you was gonna tell me
What?
tea tastes different if you put it in hot water?
Wait, what?
You're putting it in cold water. Radish, answer the question, Radish. Yeah, I thought for like 5 years that people just put it into hot water to speed up the teification process. Didn't realize there was an actual reason. You don't have the patience to microwave water for 3 minutes?
Why are you putting it in the microwave to boil it?
Do you think I have the patience to boil water on a stove?
It takes less than a minute.
This Easter stovetop powered by the fucking sun?
That's
How long
true.
does it take you to boil a cup of water on the stove?
It's like,
7
yeah,
minutes!
it's a
Just
while.
stick the mug on top of the stove on medium heat, and it boils in like 2 minutes. Less than that, and you use a saucepan.
First of all, what? Yeah, I was like, why are you putting a mug on the stove? That's weird.
Putting the whole mug on the stove on medium heat! Your stove is enchanted. Every single person in this post is a fucking lunatic. Do none of
Right?
you own a fucking kettle?
No wonder they keep having world wars over there. Holy
Yeah, like just get one of those things where like you put the water in and you flick the button and it just goes and then you got boiled water. What's all this put the mug on the stove crap? What are you talking about? You silly geese.
fuck, man. God damn.
What?
Just drink soda. Yeah, like
Also,
what
I
if?
feel like I need to reconsider my positioning because every time I do these, he's always leaning towards off screen here, and it's like he's going.
What's this? So I put everything in a microwave. I like. I used to only use the microwave for CDs. Whenever we were trying to have a little bit of fun at school. And I wouldn't really use the microwave for anything else.
When you own a game company
Used to
and
cook eggs.
fire most devs out of greed and they remove the textures. Oh, right. So apparently it was BioWare or Bethesda.
In a microwave? Yeah, that's fucking nasty. What's this? It's a joke. Don't take it seriously. Scroll of Resurrection? Bro, I can't believe they're going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucked up. They're going to do this.
I can't believe it.
Wow, guys. They're going to add in the Scroll of Resurrection to class.
Well, you know it's a joke because in reality it's going to be $1 for every level that you gained. So if you die at 60, then you have to pay $60 US.
Hardcore? What the fuck? Oh, bro, this is classic Blizzard. Yeah, what do you expect? Creation of the universe. What the fuck? Newscaster addresses the rude dating down.
Seeing a trend of women dating down, which means, you know, a man who...
So it looks like women are getting victimized again. Women are having to date down because there are no good men left. Let's talk about why. So usually, men make more than women, which is not fair. Let's not talk about why. We'll just assume it's oppression. So to combat this oppression, we need the government to make laws so that women can make an equal amount of money, which is fair. And once women are making any...
It's not even equal. They put them up on a pedestal.
I love how the name of this account is called Ho Math.
I didn't even see that.
Equal amount of money. Now, men who make less than them are fucking losers. Women are getting educated, and they have standards.
I love how he puts educated in print in like quotes.
She needs a man who makes more money than her, which is not fair. Government help. So basically, women need to be making the same amount of money as men, or even more, because it's 2023. That's the year that it is.
No, it's 123.
This is the year, and so the government has to make this happen, because it's August 23rd. The logic is flawless. So all women should be equal to or better than men, and all women should be able to find a man who makes more money than she does.
Not people.
Oh, those are not people. Oh, I get it.
But men gone. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I got educated, and that's something that men care about a whole lot. So now, me and all the other...
Back it up a second.
I just don't understand it. I got educated, and that's something that men care about a whole lot.
Personality, other men, cabinet, keepers, sleepers, sweepers. What?
So now, me and all the other educated women are looking for men,
math.
And they're all busy. What's going on here? I want a man who makes 6 figures, because that's more than me.
Right.
And that's not fair.
Unless
so
she does
I should be making 6 figures. And when I get my 6 figures, I want a man who's making 7 figures. Why can't I find any? And when I do find a man who makes 7 figures, that's oppressive. Government, help! I'm so sick of all this dating down. Why don't you just do better? Hey, you can't do better. Government! Why can't I raise my standards and make a lot of money and you just do better? Hey, you can't do better. Government! Why can't I...
Investment presentable minus other women plus galaxy?
Raise my standards and make a lot of money and then find a guy who makes more money who doesn't have a lot of women. I just don't get it. It's the mystery of our time. Guys, it's
Why is it like a laminated binder of documents? Like,
really simple. You got to get out there and climb that ladder. And when you do climb that ladder, then you're an evil bastard and you need to be forced to share.
Yeah.
And when you do share, then you're a fucking loser. Better climb that ladder, buddy. Why can't all men be better than all women while we also
They
have
are.
enforced equality? It just
this is
does
great.
not make sense.
Just the circular logic.
This guy's got a great personality. I don't know why he doesn't have a girlfriend. Yeah,
Oh boy.
I have no idea why.
Oh boy.
How weird. Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, how's this possibly happen? That's really a mystery. He's got a point. I don't know. I've always been a traditional marriage enjoyer. You solve this problem by you get a good job, your wife doesn't work, she stays home, takes care of the kids, raises the kids, improves the kids' life, and you make all the money.
Disagree.
Problem solved. Yep, that's all you do.
Hard disagree. The wife has to work and you don't have kids. Done.
And then you don't have to worry about the chart, you don't look at any of this fucking bullshit. It's not an issue. So yeah, they strongly disagree with that? Good. Then they could date somebody else that agrees with them. No problem to me. What's this
Done.
here? HoloLive English Generation 1 if they were Genshin characters. Oh, this is good. I like this. What's this? HoloLive English. Okay. Clark. Oh, I think that. Yeah, didn't I have this girl with the sword? Holy shit. I remember this. Oh, wow. Let's see this here. Okay.
I don't know any of these
Amelia.
people.
Oh, I don't know which one this is. These actually look really good.
So this is supposed to be based on that HoloLive game, HoloCure. I guess HoloLive, maybe it's like a collaboration of VTubers, perhaps? Because there was some video where it's like, yeah, get them all into the rabbit hole, one of the VTubers commented. So I guess these are like actual VTubers, and then some super fan of the VTubers made a free-to-play game based on vampire hunters where you can just like survive as long as you can killing monsters and getting upgrades, which is kind of neat. So it's a cool little microculture of gaming.
You say the third girl's name? Inonis?
Yeah, it looks like Enonis.
I don't know. Did I say it right?
Inanus. That's funny. Funny
Yeah,
joke,
I
guys.
guess.
Funny joke,
I mean,
guys.
Fuck, what do I know? Source is generally so nice and well made. Would sell my house for Guargora. Great. All right, next. RPG says deep lore throughout the world building and extensive character customization to fully immerse the player into the game. RPG players, I want my name to be Spaghetti.
Why is it
true.
a dog in flip flops?
Hypocrisy in gaming culture. What's this? How long is this? It's 15 minutes. Yeah, I could maybe look at this. Give me a second. Factory Worker of the Year.
Oh no.
Well, they need to fire them. Yeah, get them out of there. Let's see here. Ladies love them. Oh, God. All right.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of this? Code Carnage, final thoughts on Bald Gate 3? All right, I'll look at this in a second. A different fight? I'm not going to look at that.
What?
Fucking
Anxiously waiting with unzipped pants to... Oh my god.
stupid. Okay, Black Myth Wukong of Soul Holding. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Gamescom. I bet this is probably going to be stupid, but we'll look at it. Assassin's Creed playthrough duration. How long will it take for Asmongold to rage quit playing Armored Core 6, screaming that it's not his type?
See, Asmon just proved my point. AC6, Assassin's Creed 6. It's Assassin's Creed. You don't get the Armored Core acronym AC. No, not allowed. AC was there first, presumably. But it's more prevalent in people's colloquialisms of the acronym. So, no. AC equals Assassin's Creed. Done.
Type of game. Winter is this soon, guys, so play it right to the point where the game forces them to engage with mech customization system, then it'll do normal. Bashing his head against the wall. Yes, I will bash my head against the wall. And I will win. It doesn't matter. Just like I did in Elden Ring. People thought I couldn't beat the whole game with jump attacking. It turns out I could. How about that? Piece of real gameplay. What's this? Oh, this is that game.
Oh.
Okay.
Why are they just looping that one little bit of
fat
music?
enemy. All right. This is good.
Okay.
It sounds like her ult or something. Swap characters. I'm shooting them with the magma gun.
So you do swap characters.
Sounds like her ult or something. Swap characters. I'm shooting them with the magma gun. Throw spray paint at him. Yeah, stupid fatty, can't hit anybody. Getting beat up by anime girls. Get destroyed, stupid fatty. Damn, he's got a lot of health. Oh my god. Look at this. Damn. Bro, she just destroyed him. Holy shit. Cool. Oh shit, Tecton, yo, thanks for the raid, man. I appreciate it. What's up, boys? How y'all doing? Hey. What's the mystery? You just do more positive content? We complain about games? Do more positive stuff again? Quit crying, pussy. Fuck you. What are you talking about being more positive? You're being negative right now. Shut the fuck up. This looks awesome. Like, I'm gonna be real. I think this looks amazing. Yeah, I really like it a lot. What do y'all think?
I'm not that into it.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty good. Somebody's feeling hurt. You've been pretty positive, actually? No, I don't listen to anybody's feedback. Why would I listen to anybody's feedback if I'm the one who's right? It's me making the content. I'll listen to what people will say, but I don't take it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not excited by this game.
I used to always worry about, like,
I'm not excited by Honkai Star Rail. I'm not excited by Genshin. I'm just not excited by these games. But they seem alright for the people who like them.
Do what you want to do and you'll be happy. Do what somebody else wants you to do and they'll be happy. That's just how it is.
Make yourself happy
serious?
first.
Yeah, exactly. You can't see shit, but the game looks fun. Yeah, the game looks great, man. I'm excited. Holy shit. Oh, God. It's a bit I have seen this one yet. Okay, let me see. I'll look at this other video. Where the fuck is it? All right. Warhammer 40k Space Marine new gameplay. You guys said this is kind of like Gears of War. I can see why people would say that.
These unrelenting attacks make a counteroffensive.
The graphics look incredible.
Oh, dang.
Great. Is that an Imperial tank right there? I remember that tank right there, guys. Hey, yo, that tank is $90.
Yeah, seriously, putting together these models is so crazy as a hobby. They're so expensive.
Almost. Yeah, I bet. 120 nowadays? Yeah.
We will assist in the defense.
Very good, my lord.
Assist the Canadians in the defense.
The Canadians.
So just walk around? Like, who gives a fuck about this? Like, where's the gameplay? This is awesome. Just shoot him. Bro, shoot him.
I hope you're keeping score, brother. Oh, I am.
Shoot him. What?
I hope you're keeping score, brother.
Here they come.
Okay, alright, here we go.
Oh. Oh. Did he even shoot anything right there? I feel like this is clearly dev gameplay because there's a lot of missing happening.
All right. I can see why people say it's like Gears.
Reload. Intelligence reports multiple swarms closing in.
Direct us to them.
Sending coordinates to your Auspex display.
So far, I'm
lukewarm.
This is good. But is this good enough for me to be excited, looking forward to playing it? Not yet. It seems kind of slow.
This will serve me well.
My lord, we are preparing an airstrike. Can you hold the enemy in place until it hits?
Okay.
Consider it done.
Yeah. This is like any other shooter with a Warhammer paint job. So it's just like, I could see Warhammer fans playing this, but at the same time, those fans are going to be the most critical of how things look and play. So, I don't know.
Okay, this is kind of cool.
Frame drops.
All right.
Like, obviously this is a teaser and there's some optimization needed, but just like what was that? That didn't feel cool.
That was kind of cool.
Eh.
Does this dude just like not take damage? Execute, and then there's a... Yep.
Okay, that
cool.
was cool. That's the
reminds me of,
one
like,
thing
those
where I
old
was like,
arcade
that was
games.
cool. Execution. Oh. Air raid?
A direct hit, Major.
The eighth never miss.
But I think,
Tread
whoops.
carefully. The spores.
I think that was like a scripted part of that level. I don't think that was like an ability you can call in, was it? Let me just go back here.
Execute, and then there's a... Yep. That's cool. This reminds me of like those old arcade games.
Need to reload.
Okay. Yeah, it was just part of the level.
A direct hit, Major.
The eighth never miss.
Tread carefully. The spores
Just gonna get some more coffee. This isn't that exciting to me, but it's like, it's lukewarm. It's like cool.
Reload.
Okay. So this is like fighting the Tyranids in like their area. Can barely fucking see them.
Changing magazine.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anything I've seen so far is particularly impressive. Like, I don't think the gunplay is that great. I think the graphics for the game look great. Like, I don't know, like, I just don't really see... Yeah, it looks very bland.
It looks like a basic shooter game. Third person is not something I'm a huge fan of personally. Like, I know they're trying to show off, like, oh, you get to play as one of the armored, like... I don't even know what they're called, so I won't try to make up a name. But someone said this gamer sucks. I agree with that part. If you're gonna demo a game and try to hype players up, you got to get someone who's like good at games to really highlight some of the features and play it like a pro. I feel like I'm watching a toddler play the game.
And like, it doesn't have like, so if I think of like shooters, and this is like also like a personal opinion, right? But like, if I think of shooters that like, which shooters like really get me excited? Remnant, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 1.
Yeah, Halo 3 was the best.
Doom.
But the thing about Halo 3 is not only was it a cool campaign to play through, but what made Halo 3 stand the test of time for so long, the Forge. The Forge was like the way some Steam games like Skyrim have mods. But it was still like within their space of things that you could use, but you could still effectively create your own levels and gameplay. And a lot of fun came out of that with my friends back in school.
Warzone 1. Yeah, Apex, right?
Yeah.
These are the games that I feel like are the S tier like PvE shooters.
It's a speed issue, I
Or
think.
not Apex, obviously. But the other ones, yeah. Like S tier PvE shooters. I feel like this one is like
This
like
is for
slow.
the fanboys, I think.
You know, it's like you're walking around really slow, and it's like, I get that you're a Space Marine, but like Space Marines also have like, aren't they genetically engineered to have like multiple hearts, like and like different?
That's what I'm thinking too, is like, why is it almost like an armored core? But in armored core, you move really fast. So why can't they just make an adjustment? Oh, but that's not, like, everyone who likes Warhammer is gonna complain that that's not how it is. Okay, sounds like a bad recipe for a game then.
Different types of organs, so they can move and you know, behave better and more powerfully than like a normal person. So like, why is he walking around like he's, you know, just got done running a 5-mile run? You know, so like, it's just, yeah, 2 hearts, 4 lungs. Yeah, I was like 2 hearts. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like 3 or 4, like a cow or some shit, but like I think that's stomachs actually. Anyway, so
I was like, I don't know cow
like,
anatomy.
I dream of the day that there's a Warhammer game that is like insanely fucking good.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is gonna be it, man. I'm gonna watch the rest of it.
If I was gonna see a Warhammer game, I'd expect like RTS style, not third-person shooter.
But I just don't really.
Is this depicting a story that
I just don't
people
think
who
this
are
is it.
fans care about? If this is
Yeah, it looks and sounds
existing
great,
in its
something
own
sus.
universe,
Well, like, it's sus because like you have, you know, for example, like you have this swarm of Tyranids, right, that are coming over a mountaintop, but you can't shoot them.
Yeah, they're just
so
cinematic.
it's just like it's like a skybox. Why not? And also, like, compare the combat in this to like the combat in, you know, since it's like a third-person game, compare it to something like Final Fantasy 16. Like,
people are saying you can shoot them, but it feels like you're just wasting your ammo for no reason. It doesn't feel like you're achieving an objective by like mowing down these waves of enemies, and then they come in with the planes for the cinematic, and then they're gone. So, yeah, I mean, it has an aesthetic that is somewhat pleasing, but there's not a whole lot of depth in these colors too. They have this like sparkles and haze to depict like this is some kind of swampy wasteland, but it's just not it for me.
in Final Fantasy 16, compare that to Devil May Cry. And I'm not saying it has to be like that. You can? Oh, I didn't see it. Let's keep going.
Need to reload.
All right.
Reloading.
This just seems like so slow and boring. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
I
No,
do. I
you're
think
not
it's
crazy.
just like really slow and repetitive and boring. Because like, I also don't think that I don't think the game really plays.
People were saying, oh, this is kind of like a Gears of War, but Warhammer. Gears of War is so fast paced. You do the little sprints, you jump from cover to cover. Not remotely the same.
Is into the fantasy, because like if you want to be like, because obviously Space Marines have like this massive armor, so they're like actually like walking human tanks. But, like, I don't even really think it plays into that fantasy well enough.
No.
That was cool. Yeah, the melee combat is pretty decent.
That was a cool little like
That was
quick
really
time
cool.
event. I liked that.
Credit where credit's due. That was cool.
There they are, the orbital guns. Need to reload.
That didn't feel effective.
Reloading weapon.
Whoever's playing the game, oh my god, I keep doing that. Whoever's playing the game keeps like effectively missing things. It almost feels like I'm watching one of those trailers on Instagram when you're scrolling and they're like, they've made this little mobile game and they're purposely playing it bad and then being like, can you do better? That's what it feels like I'm watching right now. I find it very frustrating. I want to see how this game plays when it's being played at its best potential.
You will desert your post, guardsman.
No, Lord. Never!
We've locked them in. We could do no more. Open the gate. Yes, my lord. Open the gates!
All right. Is this a boss down here or what? Not just a bunch of them.
You will serve your emperor, soldier.
So you just shoot at a swarm and you get a little minigun.
Do not let them surround you.
This is cool. This part is really cool. I like this.
What are they doing? Trying to get up here.
But it feels like it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, this is badass.
Like, alright, sure.
Everybody inside, now.
Why does it suddenly feel like the character can move faster even though he's holding a heavier gun?
Get these gates closed. We must focus on taking down the height.
And he's running out
Do
of
not
ammo.
relent in your attacks. We are wasting time. Proceed through the gates.
Yeah, that whole thing was really cool.
Eh.
I think that part was like way fucking cooler than the beginning. Like that was
cooler.
At least it was visually cool. Like I still think the gameplay
Cooler, but the bar for cool is really low. So of course it was cooler, but I don't know. I think they need to like turn the screw up on the speed a little bit. Just make everything faster.
is like slow and boring.
Yeah.
But like visually it was cool, and the fact that you could shoot all of them and actually kill them, that was cool. But yeah, it does seem scripted.
Never seen orcs do that. Makes them easier to kill. You have yet to see the worst of them. Oh, I look forward to it.
Early game is slow, yeah.
Like, why this pace? You gotta get to the objective and you're just forced to walk at this pace. And then you gotta stop so you can shoot these things, and then now there's a little jog. Why can't you just always be jogging? You know what I'm realizing? It must be the dev doing this. Someone just put it through. They're doing themselves a huge disservice having the player walk so much in this trailer. I think the dev is just holding the thumbstick just slightly to create this RP walk, but you can actually move faster. But it's giving the impression that you can't.
Changing magazine.
That's so goofy. Why would you do that? There must be someone from the marketing or like management said, play it slow so people can really take in the visuals. Dumb idea. Let people see how the game plays. You want to demonstrate visuals, you do a visual trailer. You want to demonstrate gameplay, you do a gameplay trailer. This isn't gameplay, this is goofy.
Yeah.
So boring. But like, they're shooting projectiles, but like they're missing. Is this the easiest mode? Move slowly and play it on the easiest mode so people can take in the visuals.
Okay, what's
that
this?
execution thing was cool. Now you gotta do a little tank escort mission.
Can you shoot him?
All right. Yeah. Oh, there's this kind of like swarm flying in over the horizon. That's interesting. So what, you waste a bunch of your ammo shooting that out of the sky?
You can't shoot him, I don't think.
I think you can shoot them. I think he just didn't want to waste his ammo.
Changing magazine.
But I mean, it's ironic because if you're trying to show off the whole scenery and things you can interact with, waste the ammo. Shoot the things out of the air. Maybe you can't. Maybe you actually can't. That would be interesting if that were the case. But, man. Space Marine.
I just think it looks slow.
Yeah.
That's great. What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, the visuals and animations, yeah, you're right. Like, definitely 10 out of 10. Like, some of the visuals here, I think this was my favorite part. Let me make sure I'm at it.
Just after this, where the big swarm comes in. That's kind of cool. But like
this part was...
What zombie games haven't already accomplished this? Wasn't there like that 4-player co-op zombie game where a whole bunch of hordes like come together and like climb up on top of each other to get over barriers like this? Like we've seen that. So it's not exactly new and exciting.
It's just incredible. I love this. Like where they're pouring around, like this is so cool. Because like I don't think this is actually like a like I don't think this is challenging. Like it's not mechanically or like you know, video game challenging, but
No.
it's just a cool thing to have happen in a game. But yeah, it's thematic. Yeah, it's very thematic. The rest of it though, like I don't know. I mean, I just don't really like what really excites you in this game. Like also, why does that happen? I mean, I think this is like whenever you take damage or something, but still.
Yeah, it's annoying.
The sound
It's
design is somehow
indicators.
walking simulator. Yeah, it just seems like a walking simulator. Yeah, I don't know. What are people saying about this? Absolutely incredible. This looks amazing. Yeah, a lot of people are.
These are all fans.
Are very positive about the graphics. This game looks insane. Yeah. I don't know, guys. Like. Yeah. Heavy Bolter needs to thump though. YouTube Glazers. Well, no, I'm not saying no. That's fine if they're excited for the game because they're just looking.
Yeah. I'm not excited at all. Kind of boring. All right, let's continue. But yeah, like I thought, it's a lot of Warhammer fanboys who are just excited about their IP getting a shooter game. Cool, but not cool enough for me.
Like, oh, the game looks really cool, right? I'm just saying, like, is this something that, like, for example, like, people will go back and play Doom 2016 in like 5 years, right?
Sure.
Even though it came out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it just plays really well. And it's a good game. Will anybody play this game 6 months after it releases?
No. Everyone's saying yes, just loves Warhammer. I doubt.
Yeah, I don't think it has like any staying power. I don't think there's anything that's like particularly unique about it or cool besides like I think obviously like as a fan of Warhammer 40K, it's really cool whenever you see, you know, Tyranids, like especially like, you know, I remember like Eric and I whenever we were kids in like 7th and 8th grade, like we wanted to make an Imperial army, and I remember seeing this exact tank on like the Games Workshop magazine back then. And so, like, that's really cool for me to see this stuff, and it's just awesome, right? And I think that the visuals are so true to form and everything.
That's the only thing, is if you're a fan, you get to see all of these little figurines that you spent time purchasing and painting and what have you come to life, see them at their, you know, real scale, like as if you were putting your eyes against the table and looking up real close. You get the up close and personal look in a setting that makes sense for the characters. All of that's great. But when it comes down to actually playing the game, this trailer, like that other person said, this is such a disservice for the gameplay. It doesn't feel like it was being played to its best potential. It felt slow, it felt clunky. It felt like even if you were terrible at the game and did a lot of like missing, the game would just kind of move you on and take care of all of the enemies for you. You didn't really have to deal with all the enemies when that gate was closing, when there was that big swarm coming over the mountainside, some planes fly in and just bomb them all. Like, meh.
It's incredible, right? It looks amazing. And I even think, like, you know, again, like what that person in the comments says, like, you know, how the Imperials are like bowing down to the fucking Space Marines, right? Like, that sounds pretty cool. You know, it's almost like kind of like a Spartans and like, you know, ODST, not ODST, but you know, like the rest of the military and Halo was kind of cool. Yeah, like for sure. Like a lot of this stuff is great. I just I just don't know like why would you want to play this game, right?
This
three-player co-op gets me really excited. Yeah, I could see that being a lot more exciting. It's a game that has its own super hardcore fan base.
Yeah, that's basically
and that's the thing, right? Is like I might just not be the kind of player. Like, I might not be the kind of player that they're making the game for, but that's just my opinion.
Also, you know, pressing B to throw a grenade, that's like the least intuitive grenade throwing button I've ever seen. It should be one of the bumpers, if anything.
I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know why I make these broad statements about the game. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, for example, like, do you think that he runs faster in like the rest of the game? Like, I feel like that probably doesn't work that way. Do you think the guns shoot differently, like dramatically? Probably not. Like, it's probably about the same way. And like, of course, I'm gonna make a judgment off of the game based off of what I see. Like, what else could I judge it on? And why are you saying that I'm wrong for saying that the gameplay doesn't look good? But, like, you don't know what the gameplay after this is either. So, like, you're not really saying that. You're just mad that I didn't come to the same conclusion that you did. Because neither of us have any real information on what the game is actually going to be out yet.
People are getting mad.
It's not out? Yeah, but, like...
It
like,
doesn't
for example,
matter. This is what they decided to showcase the game is like. And it's so unexciting. It feels so slow and boring. The guns, like the best shooting gun was this minigun. And then when you run out of ammo, you have to throw it aside and use the standard weapons. And the standard weapons felt slow. They didn't feel like exciting and powerful. And then every time you went for a melee, there's like one little grunt that runs at you. The guy goes to swing and misses. What the heck? Like, there was a couple executions that were cool. And shooting at the mass of these guys while they were all in the pit, that was like interesting, I guess. But
the commercials for like Remnant 2 or Elden Ring looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't say this about Remnant 2 or Elden Ring. You couldn't say this about a Final Fantasy 16. But you can say this about this game. That's because, I don't know, man. I think that if they release, like, maybe this is a hot take, okay? But I think if the developer releases, like, because, you know, you've got to think about it, right? If you're the developer, you want to show the cool stuff, right? Or at least some of the cool stuff.
If I'm a developer and I want to showcase my shooter game, I'm going to get someone who's really good at shooters to play my game and show its best potential. But this is just one of the devs. They're like, oh, I know what happens at this sequence, so I'm going to, like, walk slow and pan this way to really highlight, like, this one scene. No, that was the dumbest decision you could have made. That's a different trailer for a different time. Gameplay needs to focus on gameplay.
Stuff. If the content that the developer releases looks boring, imagine what the rest of the game is going to be.
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. Could have massive staying power if it's a serviceable experience. 40k fans are starved for 40k games. Yeah, but does that mean the game is good, or does that mean 40k is popular?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of games look good in trailers and come out like ass. Do I need to mention Cyberpunk? Yeah, sure. Like, all I'm saying, like, I don't know. I don't think that I'm crazy by saying this game looks really boring and slow. I do. I think it looks very boring and slow. That's what I think.
Agreed. It felt very boring.
I think the visuals are S tier. Like the, you know, those like intangibles are great, but that's about it.
There's way more to see
what
and
is the
experience.
actual game going to be like? No, I'm not providing a review after playing the game for 40 hours right now. These are my first.
There's way more to see and experience at a higher pace in Gears of War. Gears of War had great, as far as I recall, gameplay and cinematic trailers. This just had a gameplay trailer. If there is a cinematic one, I haven't seen it. And boy, this did not show off a game that I would play.
First impressions from what I've just seen. The game doesn't... game's not interesting to you? Yeah, it just doesn't seem interesting to me at all.
It was better as an RTS where gameplay is slow.
Wait to feel justify them? Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the next thing.
Yeah, next.
Cold Carnage Final Thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3. We'll watch this one first.
Nice. I should make a final thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3. I'm just not done yet because I'm already going through my second playthrough where I'm doing like a really evil character. So I kind of want to see those two to their completion before I give my take, even though it's not going to be relevant at that point, but I'm just doing it for me.
Oh, I never saw it. Baldur's Gate 3 exposes the hypocrisy of gaming culture. I hate gamers.
West, East.
Dude, you think Resident Evil looks boring and slow? I prefer to think for myself sometimes. I think Resident Evil 4 looked boring and slow.
So weird.
Yeah. I don't like games like that. But are you really telling me that like a so let me get this straight. So you think that a game where you play as a human who's fighting through like zombies and like a, you know, like a horror game, kind of like a horror shooter, should play the same as a genetically modified super soldier with 2 hearts, 4 lungs, a massive metal set of armor that has been genetically compromised and modified to become an agent of war and an arm of the Imperial Hand? of the Emperor himself. And you think that that should play the same as Resident Evil? One guy with a gun? I don't think so. Bye-bye.
I just don't have a Warhammer fan mindset, I guess. Because I just never got into that IP. But, man. It feels like it's just going to sell copies because there are people who are fans of it. Like, I'm sure Henry Cavill's going to get behind it and be like, this is a fantastic game. You know?
All right. Let's see this here. Not playing hardcore WoW? Bro, why?
Oh my god, stop with the hardcore WoW.
I'll probably try it out for a bit of content, but like, it's not really that exciting, right? I mean, fuck.
No. Please, no.
I'm saying Resident Evil isn't boring or slow. Yeah, but like, I don't think it's a, like, so...
It feels like you haven't played Resident Evil then. It's very slow. It's practically turn-based.
You say Resident Evil isn't boring or slow. I get what you're saying.
It's not boring, but it is slow.
What I'm saying is that, like, whenever I play as a Space Marine, I want to feel like I am a more savage and less well-trained version of Master Chief.
Yeah.
Because that's effectively what I am. I don't want to be walking around extremely fucking slow, barely able to move. It does not seem that exciting.
Yeah, it feels like they're lugging their armor around.
Chief played slow too, though? I don't think so. I think it played fast enough. Makes you feel like a true Space Marine? Maybe it does.
Master Chief moved a lot faster than that.
I thought it was boring. Like, what the fuck you want me to say? Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Moogan Lord here, and today we're going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. And no, we're going to talk about a specific portion, an aspect of Baldur's Gate 3 that has pretty much everybody talking all over X, not Twitter anymore. That people are pointing out some of the hypocrisy from Western studios and some of the mindset of some of these gamers who were pretty much against certain depictions and objectifications of, you know, female characters in other portions in some games, but it's pretty much okay in this game. So before we dive into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell for more gaming content.
Is this the same
here
people
on this channel. So this video,
this guy's probably gearing more towards like Eastern content is more acceptable. He's an anime fan.
Be a bit of a rant because I want to give you my thoughts and opinions on this, because we've been talking about this for the past 3 weeks, going on a month now, when it comes to the depiction of women and just the all-out censorship when it comes to content.
And you can see this guy has a fucking agenda with this censorship shit. Look at this fucking poster literally right behind him, bro. Like, you know, he's been thinking about this for years. Now's my time.
This is my chance.
More specifically from the West.
Yeah.
So what about
Baldur's Gate 3?
Now, Baldur's Gate 3.
Everyone's making fun of the fact that he said PAX instead of past. The PAX 3 years or whatever.
3 has been a game that many people has been anticipating. I have owned Baldur's Gate 2 on Nintendo GameCube. Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Since
He
we have
has a
seen,
katana.
you know, a Baldur's Gate game. But this is a game that pretty much everybody's been excited for, you know? And now that the game is out, this game is pretty much breaking records. Now, I will say that, like, Larian, the company that's been working on it, they worked their asses off, and they also have a lot of developers here, especially on the west side of things, that's really panicking right now because they have offered a fully complete product. No microtransactions or anything of the sort. This is the full experience. And gamers...
As I said, the mystical word, the forgotten language of years past. Feature complete.
Right.
I feel like I hadn't heard that since 2005.
Pretty much,
are
yeah.
really appreciative of that, and that's really changed the dynamic of everything. You know, developers already felt threatened by Elden Ring. Elden Ring had also made Game of the Year and was a full complete package, full complete experience. So everybody's
I don't
loving
think
it.
devs felt threatened by Elden Ring. They were just upset the fact that because the UI for Elden Ring sucked, nobody cared. Yeah, because nobody's playing the game for a UI. Rethink your entire fucking career. You think people play video games for a UI?
Yeah. The UI is a means to an end, right?
At the top of the charts, and it pretty much, I believe, it dethroned Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So that's not the issue here. They have a game that everybody enjoys playing, but there's an aspect that most people are really talking about on the cultural side of gaming, and that is the censorship for some aspects of certain games, and then when it comes to games like Baldur's Gate 3, is completely fine. And what we're talking about here is the whole sex and romance feature that's in Baldur's Gate 3. Now, you guys have seen my videos when I talked about how the West depicts women and everything like that. And that pretty much video have caused a lot of controversy on both ends.
Yeah,
most people agreed, and yet the other side who pretty much disagree with it. But you always had this common thing coming from journalists and the detractors saying that, hey, you know, if you want porn in your game, you can go watch porn somewhere else. Or if somebody just want to see and have an attractive character or attractive female character or a female character with some curves, all of a sudden you're labeled an incel. Or hey, if you want this,
no, I think that's true. I don't know why modern games have like this, like there's some Western modern games that have like a focus on like making characters like unattractive. Like
on purpose, yeah. I've heard of that. But I think games should aim for realism. What a pause face, by the way. My bad, bro. But man, the east side of things goes so over the top with these like balloons in terms of like models. Like what the heck? So I think the West takes care of it quite tastefully, but there is also having to adjust for I would argue the loud minority who are going to, you know, they're going to rip the game apart if you overly sexualize the characters. That's the same reason, like in World of Warcraft, they made a lot of changes to the models so that there's less exposure. So I mean, no matter what you do, someone's going to be mad.
Like I don't know what kind of focus group, what kind of research testing told them that people actually want to play as like a worse version of themselves in real life. Like who the fuck would want to do that? It's just like weird. Like I don't it's like whenever I see something like that, it just feels very weird and off-putting.
Most watch porn. But then you turn around and you look at Baldur's Gate 3, and the most controversial thing before the game has released was the scene where...
Weird music transition. Oh, the bear? I haven't even seen this, so spoilers, I guess.
You was able to have sex with a bear. One of the characters have this ability to transform to pretty much anything they want. So the developers wanted to show off the many different options that you have.
Yep.
And here it is.
There's a squirrel that is watching and is shocked. I didn't know that was a thing. That's hilarious.
You have the audience clapping and cheering.
Well, I feel like these people, like, they'd have been happy about some hot-ass girl showing up in a bikini probably too, you know?
Wait, I've seen this guy. Why does he look like that? Isn't he from... He's like a game dev, isn't he? Or does he just look like someone I've recognized?
Like, the thing is that the people that complain about objectification of non-existent women in fantasy video games, these people don't go to gaming conventions because they don't like video games.
The guy on the left.
These are people that are just like unhappy assholes that want to tell other people how to live their life.
What are you gonna do?
Like they're not real. They're not real.
It's just bear sex.
Like, and there's not that many of them either. It's
It
just
is
that
what it
a
is.
number of them have positions in like games news media, so they write articles that are extremely disagreeable, and everybody talks about how disagreeable the article is without
Sure.
realizing the irony of that. That this article is so disagreeable and so unlikable that everybody is talking about how bad it is. Because the truth is that I think that you're talking about two different groups of people. Because like, I don't think any...
Josh Strife Hayes behind that girl. Is it? Here? No. What do they mean? Oh, here.
Probably none of these people here would be
Is
crying
it
or
actually?
getting mad about that shit at all. It's some other weirdos.
Because that seems like
Anybody
Josh
that gets
Strife
mad
Hayes'
about like
friend.
the way that characters are depicted in a video game, you'd never see them at a public event. Especially not with other people. There's no way.
And just looking at the sheer
Oh, it was
ridiculousness
Josh Strife
of
Hayes.
a character
That's cool.
having sex with a full-on bear. Now,
That's
yes,
funny,
this person
yeah.
can transform into one, but the fact is, this is crossing the line of bestiality.
It
But
is.
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Journalists is making complete videos about it,
I've
talking
always
about,
get Bear 16 reveal hits so hard.
oh yeah, this is a joke. You know, this is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And you know, and pretty much commending this type of degeneracy. But
No, the thing is, like, if you read the articles...
Degeneracy. But I mean, it's a video game. It's not real. Just so you know.
I don't know if like any of them said the same thing I said, is that it's not that the bear sex scene had anything to do with like the actual quality of the game. Like nobody gives a fuck about this.
Some people didn't even know it was possible because they didn't go down that line to have that experience. So the fact that it was showcased, I guess, like, man, why are you getting mad when like this is probably a rare cutscene?
It's weird, but the reason why
It's
it
just
was exciting
goofy.
is because it provided a frame of reference of like how big the window inside of what's possible in the game is. So like usually most video games are like this big, right? But you had a bear sex scene and now it's this big. And it could be
Right.
even bigger. You don't know. And that's why that scene was so important. It's not because of what the scene is, it's what the scene represents.
Sure.
It represents a development studio and a video game that's not tethered by modern sensibilities, by, you know, like modernized audiences. People, like, it's just straight up, like,
Critique it all you want, overanalyze it all you want. It does not define the game. There's so much more to the game. It's just one thing to focus on for the sake of getting clicks on your media websites.
Overton window. Well, that's political. That's a bit different, but you could say that. Like, it's the same general thing. The point is that, like, it expands the scope of, like, what's possible inside of a video game. Does it matter that it's a bear? Yeah, I mean, I think so. It probably does matter. And also because, like, the bear is getting on top, it's not like the person is taking advantage of an animal. And because it's a bear that's not actually a bear, it's different. Like, there's a lot of, like...
That's more analysis than I cared for. I didn't even think that far.
like, nuances to this that make it to where it's not really bestiality. And, like...
The fact that it cuts to the squirrel who's, like, drops the acorn... It was clearly meant to be comedy. Like, there's an old movie called Super Troopers where they go like, there's a guy pretending to fuck a bear to like distract the rival police station from the state troopers, and the guy on the megaphone, "Hey, bear fucker!" Like, it's a joke.
Like, no, but like you want to get down into it. You want to talk about it. Honestly,
I don't want to get
let's
down
talk
into
about
the
it
bear.
honestly.
No, thank you.
Like, it's not really a bear. the dude is not like forcing himself on an unconsenting animal. Like, these are two consenting individuals, right? And so that's really why it's more okay.
Consenting
it's not like he's actually
individuals.
fucking a bear.
Yeah.
In the scope
It's
of the game.
pixels in a game.
Then you turn around and you have someone like me and many others who point out that, hey, you know, what's going on with the female characters in Mortal Kombat, or what's going on with Western developers and how butt ugly they making women look in their games, and all of a sudden you're called the incel.
Okay, so this is your response to being called an incel, I guess. What do you mean butt ugly? Is she butt ugly? I mean, she's not conventionally hot as some people might think, but she's not unattractive. She looks like a real person who works out a lot.
You call it a misogynist, you call it a sexist.
If people got really mad at me whenever I said this about the Fable character, they were fucking furious, man. I got shit on so hard. People were telling me that I was ugly and all this other shit. Like I don't own a mirror. Like, that's the first time I've heard this before. Like, what the fuck? You think this is a surprise? Like, I have mirrors in my house. I've taken my photo before. I know this. Like, but you don't see me putting myself on the fucking cover of a video game? Fuck no. Absolutely not.
How strange.
All kinds of things for saying that, hey, we want to see attractive looking characters. We want to see attractive looking women on, you know, in our video games. You're pointed out just for wanting something that look attractive. But in this game, there's plenty of scenes that you'll see. I mean, ridiculous.
Well, look at, you know, you want to see.
I can't believe this guy made a whole video. How long is this video? I can't see because it's behind Zach, but like, man, this is too in-depth for this subject. It didn't require analysis.
See Chun-Li or Cammy or one of the other Street Fighter characters that are hot as fuck. Well, Street Fighter 6 is doing really goddamn well. Like, I think Street Fighter 6 has been... Like, this is from, like, a super outsider perspective, but I feel like it's done more to, like, elevate the fighting game community than... I don't remember the last time. I do. I feel like it's done so much. It's been, like, the first massive, huge W in such a long time. Street Fighter 6's biggest fighting game, in my opinion. Evo was huge. Exactly. Yeah, it's fucking massive. And so, and also, like, look at the way that the characters are built in that game, right? Like, they're not pulling any punches with that. Like, there's all kinds of, like, super sexual stuff, even down to their moves and, like, the outfits and everything. So, I feel like, if anything, like, you look at the success of something like Street Fighter 6 or Baldur's Gate 3, I think that there's a lot of people nowadays that are just fucking tired of being told by some freak on Twitter that they're wrong for liking hot girls or they're wrong for liking hot guys in video games.
Either side of this argument, the fact remains, it's in a video game. None of it's real. So, like, just let people have their fantasies and move on. Focus on things that matter.
Like, they don't want to hear that anymore. And I think that the success of these games is a direct refutation of that. Nobody wants to fucking see that. Never paused the game when Chun-Li was doing her spinning star kick. I never played fucking Street Fighter. I've seen the only content for Street Fighter I've ever seen is I've watched DSP play Street Fighter. And that is funny. And that's all I need to see. Problem is telling people that being a hot girl is wrong. But, like, the problem is not telling people that being a hot girl is wrong. The problem is that that opinion matters to somebody. Because I think you can say whatever you want.
Just, like, let them have that opinion and don't even regard it. If it offends you, just be like, that's a dumb opinion. And focus on your opinion. Like, why do we have to have a whole discussion about it? Some games are going to overly sexualize women. Some games are going to create unattractive, ugly characters. Like, so what?
Like, the problem is that it matters. Like, anybody can say that, think that. Like, why should you care what this person thinks in the first place? Why does it matter? Like, so what? So they don't like this character in a video game. What does this have to do with anything?
Yeah. This isn't like a beauty magazine that's imposing standards of women and their beauty. This is a video game. This isn't like this is how you should look. This is like, oh, here's a character that it's not a real person. Let's just make them like unrealistic. Literally unrealistic.
Cares? Maybe they want to make the character look more like IRL people. How many girls you know that look like Cammy? Not enough. But the thing is that
fucking asshole.
I mean,
oh my god.
I don't know. Like, I want to play like a game with like cool looking characters. Like, I don't want to play a game where you can be a McDonald's.
You know why it's not enough? Because it's unrealistic. That's why.
Cashier or a janitor. What do you mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's boring.
Scene. One person showed this one scene where two characters, male characters, like a blowjob type of scene, which of course is masked out. And I won't show it or whatever like that, but people were sharing all over the internet and was saying that, yo, like, wait a minute, this is permitted, but yet games, especially like Dead or Alive volleyball, which is just girls in bikinis playing volleyball, that game was pretty much banned, couldn't come to United States. And then you had articles writing about it that it had, about the objectification of women, but yet you allowed to have full on.
How are you even arguing this, bro? Dead or Alive. First of all, what's with that name? Second of all, this game is not about volleyball, bro. And you know that. The sex in Baldur's Gate 3 is not even secondary. It's tertiary to what Baldur's Gate 3 represents as a game. There's such hyper focus on that aspect of the game. It's like not even anything. Of all the hours I've put in so far, which is coming up on 200 hours, like, that's been such a small part of it. It's like cumulatively, it's accounted for about 10 minutes of gameplay.
Sex.
Well, because it's two different people. That's why. It's like, I don't think these are the same people saying the same things.
Yeah.
I think this is two different groups of individuals. I think the people that think that the sex scenes and the cool, like the weird, crazy shit you can do in Baldur's Gate 3 probably think Dead or Alive beach volleyball is cool too.
Nah.
Because they're just normal, like, normal people. That like, and if they don't like it, right? If they don't like it, the game, they just don't play it, right? It's not that big of a deal.
Disagree. People like Baldur's Gate 3 because of Baldur's Gate 3 being awesome, and the sex thing is just like oh, you can do this? Interesting. Moving on. Like, I think that's the vast majority of the reactions. There's a few outliers where, they're not streaming or anything like that, so they've got the genitalia turned on, and they're probably like really going in for that part of the game. I actually heard about there's a speedrunning category for how quickly you can have sex with like all the female characters or something like that, like stupid stuff. But that's a very small crowd in the like hundreds of thousands of people who are playing this game. Dead or Alive, there's a focus there. It's a completely different conversation.
Sex doesn't automatically equal objectification.
Right.
It's not. I mean, they aren't even objects. It's code. Like, it's a fucking video game. Who cares?
Yeah,
like,
they're not real people.
People get so wrapped up in like what happens inside of a fucking. Who gives a fuck? It's a game.
It's a game.
I feel the same thing about movies. People care so much. Like, they get in their feelings about what happens in a fucking movie. It's not even real. It's just so weird.
Game. Now the thing is, I don't have a problem with sex in video games. If people want that, and it's all about giving the fans what they want. It's all about giving the fans what they enjoy and what they want to see. That's not the problem. The problem is the double standard here. And the people who want to see.
Okay. if I had to guess, you're a big fan of Dead or Alive. If I had to guess. I'm just looking at the posters behind you. I'm looking at the Marvel vs. Capcom arcade game. Something tells me that you like those games. But then you see something like Baldur's Gate 3 and you're taking that as a justification for liking the things that you like. And I'm not gonna like say that you can't like the things that you like. Go right ahead. But you can't possibly compare those two things like they're apples and apples. It's apples and oranges. One game is a volleyball game with a very particular focus where this aspect is conspicuous throughout. The other is a role-playing game where there's so much immersive story happening for hours and hours on end, and then a few times these things happen. And per gameplay, per playthrough, it accounts for like 10 minutes out of 100 hours plus. Like, it's not the same.
You know, attraction in their characters and stuff, they're pretty much being
there's Cammy, right?
Villainized for that. But
I mean, Street Fighter 6 is the most popular fucking game. Like, it's the most popular fighting fucking game. Like, I feel like maybe Smash might be bigger overall, but Smash isn't like a, you know, a classic fighting game. Like, what are we talking about? Like, Street Fighter 6 is fucking massive. Mortal Kombat? I feel like Street Fighter 6 is bigger than the new Mortal Kombat.
I would argue
like
that.
It's bigger.
Mortal Kombat is famous for its finishing moves, but Street Fighter has stood the test of time. When people talk about arcade fighters, they're thinking of Street Fighter.
But then it's okay to have these weird fetishes, having sex with bears, creatures, and all kinds of other degeneracy in this type of game, and it's completely fine.
Stop calling it degeneracy. It's a video game. There's nothing degenerate about experiencing a video game.
And I will also say this too. It just seemed like if it comes to Eastern studios, things have to be censored, but when it comes to Western style, Western studio games, then this stuff is, you know, permitted.
I think it's the opposite, honestly. I do. And like, you got to keep in mind that like, you know, you have like American, like, I read actually a really good post about Baldur's Gate 3 and why they liked how Baldur's Gate 3 had such a European view on sexuality, where it didn't take it and make it this like weird, like big.
It wasn't the focus, and they didn't have such a like over the top expression of it. It just existed in a very natural way.
Big thing. It just kind of incorporated it into part of life.
Right.
And it had a healthy outlook on it that wasn't like super gratuitous or cringe or awkward or anything like that. Because like, I think that the way that Americans look at sexuality and the way that Europeans look at sexuality are two completely different fucking things.
And it, even with the whole like genitalia setting turned on, I haven't seen it. I've had genitalia turned off. I can imagine it does the same thing where it very like tastefully cuts away, and a lot of what happens is implied and not visually seen. So it's so silly to be having this conversation. I imagine people in the comments of this video just tearing this apart.
So like, even inside of the West, like what a studio like Larian does is going to be totally different than what a studio like I don't know, Blizzard does. Yeah, the US is way more puritanical. It's way more like ideological, etc.
Yeah.
And I feel like also, like, look at Lost Ark. Lost Ark, like, yeah, they censored like one outfit in Lost Ark, but other than that, name one character in Lost Ark that doesn't wear high heels. Female character. I'm pretty sure there isn't one. Because I paid attention. I was like, is it really every single character? Yeah, it is.
Remember, back during PS4 and I think the PS5 version too, if I can remember, Devil May Cry 5 had scenes where it pretty much blotted out Trish's body, you know?
Yeah, I
but
remember
then
those.
all of a sudden when you had the last...
I mean, Furthermore, let's talk about a different game. Cyberpunk 2077. There's the girl who's like really rich and has that like her rich girl like save me beacon was blocked by some hackers and they were trying to steal her organs, and you pick her up and there's just full nudity. Like, I don't know. I think the European approach is just like, hey, this exists, so we're not gonna look past it and be all prude about it. We're just gonna say, hey, this is part of life. But moving on.
Last of Us 2, Abby was getting just complete back shots. That dude looking chick was allowed to have a back shot scene.
Dude looking chick. Man, you're just being rude.
In that game.
Now, granted, this isn't a real person, but man, you're being rude. you're being a dick about it.
They had to censor Trisha's, naked body in a video game. Like where's the consistency when it comes to that? It just doesn't make sense.
Different development studios. There's no universal standard that every development studio has to follow. It was just a decision made by a different developer.
Sense. And then let's talk about what Square Enix had to do to
I don't
FIFA and Final Fantasy VII remake. They literally said they had to really change her up.
By their ethics department had to change her up. Confirmed censorship from Square Enix's ethics department.
Okay. Choices made by a different development company. So you're saying because Baldur's Gate 3 depicted certain things, that's the standard that every other development studio must follow? And people can't be critical of a game like Dead or Alive, which entirely focuses on sexuality in the game, whereas Baldur's Gate 3 does not? I don't understand what this video is quite about. Baldur's Gate 3 exposes the hypocrisy of gaming culture. I don't think it's hypocritical. I think this is just different companies and their different ethics departments having different viewpoints on how much nudity is too much nudity.
I mean, I think all this stuff is super fucking cringe, by the way.
Yeah, it
is.
is.
I think that changing video games to appeal to people who don't like video games is a bad idea.
Sure.
I think it was a bad idea whenever...
But that's what ethics departments do. They say, oh, if we release this and we show too much cleavage, then a lot of people are going to be mad at us. So please design it this way based on this conclusion, because we have all of these scientific articles that say such and such, and therefore this is how we need to appropriate ourselves. Yeah, some studios are going to do that. It is what it is. But why is this a whole, like, Baldur's Gate 3 as a justification for a game like Dead or Alive? I'm hanging on that comparison so hard because it's not even in the same ballpark.
Whenever World of Warcraft did this in Wrath, like Wrath of the Lich King changed a lot of WoW, and it made the game in a way to where it didn't only appeal to like WoW players. It tried to appeal to like all different kinds of players.
Someone said it is called social engineering. That's not what social engineering means.
Players, and I think that's why a game like, for example, Elden Ring and like Remnant 2 and a few probably other games that I could really just think of, like Legend of Zelda, maybe a handful of other ones. Like the reason why they're still successful is because they appeal to a target audience. You can't just make like people that cry about censorship and they cry about sexuality and like, you know, like games not being in line with their worldview. You've got to keep in mind that these people will never be happy. Because if they're ever happy, then they don't have any power. And the only power they have is by complaining about things. So
who cares about sexuality in video games, man? Different game companies are going to depict it how they want, and it's just gratuitous. It's extra. It's not the focus of the game, unless it's Dead or Alive, apparently. But, you know, if people are going to enjoy those games, go right ahead. Those aren't the popular titles. Baldur's Gate 3 has a massive reception because of what Baldur's Gate 3 is actually about, and it's not the sex.
So they're never going to give up their power by saying that they're happy. Why the fuck would they do that? So the only way you win is to not play the game.
Right.
You just not play like Final Fantasy 7 or whatever. I'm saying like don't play the game with these people. Like if they say something, ignore them. If they try to talk to you, don't listen. It
So
doesn't
silly.
matter. And that's the thing, is that like a lot of people don't understand this, but it doesn't matter if people don't like what you're doing or people are mad about it, because there's a lot of other people out in the world that do.
Right.
And you don't have to constantly appeal and make every single group of people happy. Like look at Baldur's Gate 3. Imagine how many people, whenever they heard that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be turn-based, thought, oh my god, this sucks. This isn't like all the other modernized games.
Right.
But they said, fuck you, we're going to make the game the way we want to make the game, and the way that we think the game is best.
Divinity and Divinity Original Sin 2 were so fun as turn-based combat games. And then when they took the story of Baldur's Gate 3 and applied the same systems, it's a masterpiece. It's absolutely, like, one of the huge benefits is that it can be so widely adopted by people who don't quite classify as gamers. It appeals to, well, I mean, I don't want to say a younger crowd given this current subject matter, but an older crowd of people who don't quite play games at the pace that some younger people can. It just it has so much room for a more wide adoption by people, and you can play at any pace. If you're the busiest person in the world, you can take some time to play some Baldur's Gate 3, save at any millisecond you want, and come back to it later. It's great.
And that's it. And I can respect that. But the truth is that you can never make people that are angry and that complain about shit all the time happy.
Especially
because, again,
shit like this.
If they're ever happy, then they don't have any power. And nobody ever gives up power. No, I think this shit, changing Tifa, like, who gives a fuck? Like, bro, who cares? Like, what? Where are these problems? Like, who actually cares about this shit? What freak cares about this? It's a bunch of weirdos.
This one.
Bunch of weirdos with problems in their head. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what they think. Who cares?
This is so goofy.
Because of the ethics department. And they had to worry about how she's going to be presented, you know, especially when bringing the game here in the West. So now they had to change things up, give her leggings. They had to give her a sports bra. They had to do all these other things so she won't appear overly sexualized. But yet you're allowed to have these things in these Western developed games.
I don't understand what your point is. You're saying just like overly sexualize everything? Like, what are you arguing for? You're just upset that people like make fun of you and call you an incel for liking Dead or Alive? I mean, I don't know what your female situation is, or maybe you're not into female, but I get the strong sense that you are. Why? What is the argument that you're trying to make? Because there's a bear having sex with a Starion, then therefore all women should have bikinis?
That just blows my mind. It just boggles my mind how this is, you know, this is acceptable. And then, of course, we could talk about Ashley and Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of fans who felt some type of way about them changing certain lines, removing certain aspects, you know, that refers to Ashley and everything like that. But then you look at games like Baldur's Gate.
That girl looked like a child. So I guess that probably made sense. Someone's saying, "Wah, I can't see her panties." Like, yeah, exactly. That's how it's coming across. Like, man.
That's completely fine. And I also wanted.
Oh, this was so funny. And they don't show anything. Or maybe they do. I had the setting turned off. But this was hilarious, especially as a bard. Like, it's so good. Like, all of this is just natural and very comedic in a lot of cases. In some cases, it's more passionate, but like, it's such a small, like, microscopic fraction of the gameplay. Other games, it's like a centric part of it.
Just go on this website because it's just funny because how ridiculous it is as far as how far the hypocrisy go when it comes to this. Now there was an article here on Rock Paper Shotgun where it talked about
Baldur's Gate 3 is a relentlessly horny video game. No, it's not. TikTok, it's RPG sex o'clock. Nah. Rock, paper, shotgun? Man. Like, a lot of people respect this particular media venue for gaming, but what? This is clickbait as hell.
I mean, like, Ash is beautiful, kind of cooking. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's an issue too, like, for sure. That shit is always, to me, it is so fucking cringe. Whenever they try to change, like, lines in a game because, like, what is this line? This line is going to offend people? Who is it going to offend? How many people? Like,
I don't
7?
appreciate this at all.
Like, because to me, I find it offensive that we can't just have exactly what it was because somebody's going to get their fucking feelings hurt. Like, to me, I find it very ironic that we can have video games that are all about guns and alcohol,
right,
which contribute to more deaths and more despair and awful things in the world than anything else. Nobody ever fucking talks.
But when it comes to sex, then everybody's up in arms, and it has to be a discussion either for the censorship or justification of things that are blatantly sex focused. But I can't get over this title. Baldur's Gate 3 is a relentlessly horny video game. TikTok, it's RPG sex o'clock. It's such a small part of the game. This is that negativity bias where you're just so focused on this one part, but there's so much more to the game.
Talks about that, but the moment that somebody says the wrong word or something seems a little bit sexist, everybody loses their fucking mind. It's art. It's a video game.
Yeah.
The fucking art police, man. It's crazy.
It's not real. It's not real.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a relentlessly horny game. So pretty much Alice Bell, she goes through her experience and she's talking about the many different sexual,
Hang on a second.
Relentlessly horny game.
Alice Bell, deputy editor. Alice, why are you so focused on this, Alice? Why, like, how many hours did you put into this game? Is an officially licensed D&D RPG of many hours of turn-based combat. Ragtag group of misfit heroes to save amongst mysterious cult. Every single one of those misfit heroes wants to get at you. In many cases, with zero prompting from you whatsoever. That's not true.
So pretty much Alice Bell, she goes through her experience.
There's one romance option that I experienced effectively as a jump scare, entering a cutscene to see a character suddenly and casually, not casually, shirtless. It never ends. In hindsight, picking from a selection of genitals in a character creation was probably a clue. What? You had a very different experience. I don't know why, but I feel like that's just all you focused on.
And she's talking about the many different sexual, romance options that you have in the game and stuff like that. And then you go check, and that's not the thing I really wanted to highlight, but this is the part that really gets me. After she talk about her experience with the sex options and the many different things, she explains about what you can do with the characters in the game. Then she goes on to say that this isn't bad though. The amount of horniness is what creates an amount of choice, especially getting that campfire quickie, expected feature of RPGs. And that being the case, why limit yourself? It's a fantasy world. A statistically significant amount of Baldur's Gate 3 sex happens when one or both participants are floating in midair.
That's cute.
Do the bear sex. Do the weird tantric wizard thing. The other day, I got into an argument with a terrible detective who was also a tiny golden flying elephant. Why would the sex be the one thing in the world that's normal? Now, this is the thing that gets me.
I think people just need to get out of their fucking feelings about trying to make video games reinforce their work.
Yeah. That's ultimately all there is to it. It's such a small aspect of the game. It really doesn't have that big of an effect on your experience. So to put so much focus on it, let's be realistic here. Let's take a real world view. You work for Rock Paper Shotgun. You have to write an article that's going to draw as many eyes and clicks as possible. So you wrote about the one subject that's most controversial and gave it a spin to make it seem like, oh, here is what happens. You're saying 70% is unprompted? I just think you probably played your character in a way that made yourself favorable. Like every time you make decisions in the game, there's either so-and-so approves or so-and-so disapproves. You probably took a lot of the characters that just approved of your choices, and based on their approval of you, they were more likely to feel attracted to you because they liked your personality that you developed in the game. Like that's really all there is to it. And the fact that they give you options to have like these little encounters, all of them say, no, I don't want, there's always a, no, I don't want this. Please go away. Like, and it just moves on. Like, it's not a big deal. But this is just for the sake of you getting your article to be popular.
Worldview of reality. Like, it's just so fucking exhausting for me to read this shit and listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is a fake video game. Like, I'm just so tired of people with a chip on their shoulder trying to get everybody else to carry their cross.
Right.
Fucking stop.
There's an agenda here.
Just learn to relax and let art be art. If you don't like it, stop watching it. God damn.
You could probably play this game with 4 players and just have everybody in the camp. And then every once in a while, you might get some kind of prompt. And then you just say no and move on and keep playing the game with your 3 other friends. Like, what is this?
The person right here, Alice, says that why limit yourself is a fantasy world. But video games, I've been saying this in all my videos. Video games is a fantasy.
Yeah.
They're not going, like what's the point of going for realism? You're doing everything that isn't real in a video game, but then when it comes to depictions of certain characters or genders and stuff like that, then that's when, we really need to pump the brakes on this. We really got to be realistic with this. That, quote unquote, most people would say and what Western developers would say. But
well, let's just sum this up real quick. If you're into Dead or Alive or Street Fighter or what have you, which often has these animations and character models that come across a certain way and people judge you for that, you made your bed, so sleep in it. But people aren't going to say, oh, you like Baldur's Gate 3? It must be because you like having sex with bears. Nobody draws that conclusion when they think about Baldur's Gate 3. So, sorry you're mad. Sorry you're sad.
All of a sudden, this game is completely fine because it's just a fantasy. You know, the sky's the limit. You know, just remove all the shackles, just have fun, go all out when it comes to the pure, you know, degeneracy that you're allowed to engage in this game.
Give me a moment, for pity's sake. You've exhausted me already.
Now, like I said before, if that's what people are into, I don't have a problem with that when this is
those encounters are fun too, and they just have a conversation and then it cuts to black and it's literally just the narrator describing. It's like reading a smut novel, although I don't know what that is like. I haven't read smut, but I can imagine.
Something that's catering to that base. But all I'm saying is keep that same energy when you have fans who want to see attractive women or they want to see certain depictions of characters in the games that they enjoy, especially more specifically Japanese games, developed games, or Eastern developed games. Because it seemed like that one side is okay.
I think that like it's definitely, there's some truth to this. Like I think that the biggest exception to this is like I'm not a fan of the lolly shit in games.
Oh, that's weird.
I
yeah, keep the notion of depicting childlike images out of games. That's gross.
That's where I draw the. I think that's weird. I don't want to see it in the games. Like, I don't care about, like, what their culture is. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see it.
Right.
But, I mean, like, I'm not going to lose my mind if they make games like that, right? I mean, I can't...
If there's a game where there's, like, an attractive designed woman, and they're, like, all covered up to hide some features, like... I'm not gonna have a tirade and be like, oh, this fucking Western world censorship is such bullshit. Where are the titties? Like, fuck off, dude. You're so boring.
Can't control what other people do. And also, like, if there's a game that's like that, you know what I do? I don't play it. If I feel like that part of the game makes me uncomfortable, I just don't play it. I say, no, I don't want to play this. This is weird. And so that's it. And like somebody else can play it, that's fine. Because that's not like, I'm not God, right? Like I'm giving my opinion, right? It's whatever. But like, that's just what I think. But the difference is that like, I
Someone
feel like
said,
most
but you're the
people
literal
probably
God.
agree with him. I would say, if you want me to be honest, 90% of people agree with him. 90%.
Agree with him about what? Because I'm still not clear on what his point of this video was, other than some companies censor things that are overly sexualized. Yeah. Sure. But I feel like the game, it's in the title. Baldur's Gate 3 exposes the hypocrisy. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not all the games you're comparing it to, where there are cutscenes and animations of women spinning their legs and showing off parts of their body. Like, that's not a part of Baldur's Gate 3.
% of people don't want some weirdo, again, that's got a chip on their shoulder,
right,
trying to make decisions for where a game goes. Nobody gives a fuck about this stuff. Nobody cares. People just want to have a good time.
Right. And Baldur's Gate 3 is a really good time.
His argument.
If you do nothing sexual in that game, Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing, and it's not the focus at all.
What he's saying, right, is that like people hold Eastern developers, like Japanese developers, to a different standard than the Western developers. So obviously some of the differences here, you want to talk about like the Abby thing.
Who is holding them to those standards?
In Last of Us, well, she's not made out to look like a porn star. So whenever she has sex in the game, it's not just for the male gratification of the audience. It's also because of the, it's just part of the nature of the game. So I think that's one of the big differences of why it's okay in the Western games, is because the characters in the Western games are not created as basically porn stars.
Right.
Which, by the way, I think is a problem. They need to make more of the porn stars. Let's get more of them. I like that way more.
You're just being a joker.
If I were to assume what is the difference in the mind of the people that complain about one and not the other, it's that it's not a, quote, realistic depiction of women. Everybody knows that attractive women aren't real, okay? So whenever they see one in a video game, this is upsetting.
Stop it. You're being an asshole.
For permitting stuff like this, because even
Farming
in the game itself, when you create your character, there's also full-on nudity and everything like that, and you be able to adjust the sliders. But it's kind of funny that, from what I heard, that there's really no boob sliders for the females, but there's a junk slider for the males that you allow to adjust.
Is that true? You can make their dick bigger, but not their tits? Is that true?
What? There's no sliders. There's like a few options as far as I've heard. I didn't go that far because I did all my experience on stream, so I wouldn't know. But like, what are you talking about? I feel like you didn't play this game at all, and you're just really gung-ho about your particular viewpoint, and you're just tearing this game apart and giving it a bad rep for no reason. I'm offended as a Baldur's Gate 3 fan. That's what's happening here.
No,
I'm curious to hear
Co
Carnage's reaction to this.
Okay, so it's not even real. Okay. Yeah,
I find that kind of funny. But you're capable and you're allowed to have that. I don't have an issue with that. If that's what they want to do, then that's fine. I just don't like the hypocrisy or how one-sided it is. Because where is that same energy from these people? Because these journalists,
it's definitely one-sided as fuck. Like, look at all the women that say things that, like, if a guy, there are women that say things about Henry Cavill that if a guy had said that about an actress, he would be in a bad time.
Not wrong.
That's just the truth.
The difference is that's real life. That's a person.
Nah, there is a double standard. There definitely is, and that's just the way the culture is.
these are the same people, these journalists and all these detractors that you will find on Twitter that will attack you. They're nowhere to be seen when it comes to
Baldur's Gate 3 bear sex tip of the horny iceberg. Nah, dude. Nah. If you want to play Baldur's Gate 3 on horny mode, I guess that's a playthrough you can have. But that's not what most people are experiencing.
to this game. In fact, they're posting the sex scenes. You can see it on Twitter. They're posting the sex scenes of all the craziness that you can encounter in this game. And yet
because it's the most controversial and that's what's going to get the most clicks and views. What are we talking about? That's not what the game is.
That's fine. These are the same people that's
God.
telling you that.
Yeah, but are they the same people that are complaining about Eastern games being overly sexual, though? Like, because that's the main thing. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Because, like, is it the same person or is it a different person?
Calling you horny. They're calling.
What's funny is, like, this Alice Bell person who you're using for your argument would probably take offense with a lot of the games that you seem to like, such as Dead or Alive or Street Fighter or what have you.
They're saying to you that you're an incel and go play porn or go watch porn, but yet
I think this guy's been called incel one too many times.
You're pretty much posting up the depiction of what porn
like.
is, because there is pretty much porn in this game, essentially. But it's okay for them to do that. And that's why I talk about, and I always say this, just continue to call this nonsense out. Continue to...
Having big titties bad, right? Ah, yes, attractive women are bad, but this is good. What happened to just go watch porn? What happened to if you want porn, there are sites for it. You don't need porn in your games. These are all the opinions that don't matter, dude.
Stand your ground and say, hey, this is what I want, and just ignore those people, because at this point they really have no foot, they have no stool, they have no high ground to stand on at this
They
point.
never did because they have their opinions don't mean a fucking thing. Like, there are a lot of people, for example.
Develop your games to whatever ethical standard you wish. Someone's always going to be mad.
That fucking hate me. Like, for example, you go on LSF, everybody fucking hates me on that subreddit. You go on some of these other gaming subreddits, everybody fucking hates me. There is like a 200 or 300 page at this point thread about why people hate me on the Baldur's Gate Steam page. I looked it up, I saw it. I read like 2 pages, I got bored. But does that matter to me? What is that like? What is that gonna do? Oh my God, somebody doesn't like what I'm saying? Well, I guess I should just quit then. Oh, let's just quit. All right, great. Well, yeah, people don't like it. Well, who gives a fuck? Who cares? It doesn't. They're NPCs. What are you doing? What are you doing spending all your time worried about what this other person thinks? I have a very simple system in my life, okay? If it wouldn't affect me if a person got hit by a car, it's also not going to affect me what they think. It sounds harsh, but that's the way I think.
Probably leaves your mind at ease.
I don't want to hear nothing from these crowds of people. After all this, after shaming other people for having preferences and wanting to see or wanting to have certain things in their games, but then turn around, it's completely okay. And this goes overboard compared to some of the soft things or some of the mild things people want. For some reason, just wanting a curvy woman or wanting a woman to just look attractive looking and appealing to you, they label that as you wanting porn. That's
man. The way you just showed those two scenes, it's very obvious what you think. And in my opinion, you're just wrong. Like, and it comes down to, for me, it comes down to like screen time, like how long these things are on screen. In one case, you're playing with a character and you're constantly seeing it. In another, you're doing like one little depiction that has like, there's an implication like, oh, tentacle wraps around neck, grabs butt, falls back, fade to black. It's not even the same, dude.
Or that is what you want. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man, people are making fun of the way this guy talks, and it's not very nice. But at the end of the day, like, I'm listening to your points, and I don't agree with them.
Yes, please.
Crazy. So a woman being curvy or having a bust, that's automatically porn? So, like, think about what people are saying when it comes to the aesthetics of a woman. That any signs of bust, any signs of curve, that automatically deemed as porn.
Well, exactly, bro. Like, you see fat chicks all the time talk about skinny bitches, but you don't see a bunch of skinny girls get around and talk about fat bitches. People get pissed off about that. It's just upwards discrimination. That's just the way it is. Upwards discrimination in our culture is acceptable for everything. It's okay to make fun of tall people, but if you make fun of short people, you're an asshole. It's okay to eat the rich, but you can't eat the poor.
Literal upwards.
It's okay to shit on, let's say a guy of a woman. It's okay to say men are trash, but it's not okay to say women are trash. That's just the way it is, man. And it doesn't make it right. That's just how it is.
It is what it is.
But yet, you see degeneracy like this in Baldur's Gate 3. That's completely fine. It's just a joke. Because you see it on...
Wait a second. This might work against you, my friend. But you're saying degeneracy when it's just two guys having sex?
But yet, you see degeneracy like this in Baldur's Gate 3. That's completely fine. It's just a joke.
That's not a joke. That's just two consenting men having sex. What are you saying now? Now you're just being homophobic. based on that. You edited the video, so like, what are you saying?
Because you see it on Twitter and X, or you see it from journalists. Oh, you don't understand. This is a joke behind this. No.
No, the joke is that a druid is a person. They became a bear and had some fun. The joke is when the squirrel observes it, acts shocked, and drops its acorn. That's the joke.
Either one thing is, if this is okay, then everything should be okay.
He's right.
So
yeah, if you can have sex with a bear, you should be able to have a hot girl on the screen. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. I totally agree.
Yeah, but you're acting like that's all Baldur's Gate 3 is a porn simulator for tentacles and furries and what have you. That's not what the game is. So you're just being a goof.
I think 90% of people agree with that. There's a small contingent of freaks out there, and they don't even play the games.
That pretty much just wraps this up. I just wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions on this, because I really find this just downright ridiculous with Baldur's Gate 3. The sheer hypocrisy. It seems like Western studios are allowed to have things like this, and Eastern studios is not even showing sex at all. It's just the woman's body, the figure, the curve.
They just had that girl do a twirl and showed all the different little like outfits. Do you think Baldur's Gate 3 has that? Because it doesn't.
The context of it, right? It's the context. Like, I understand where they're coming from. Like I can understand what their argument is. I just disagree with the argument. So like the idea is that the reason why people don't like it is that it treats women like they're not people and like they're just objects.
Right.
Whereas like in Baldur's Gate, this is people. Consensual sex between two characters that have a backstory.
Sure.
But like these characters
exactly right.
are being presented purely just for their look.
What's the lore behind this thing? So like, how do you compare this to Baldur's Gate 3? And then you flash to a scene between two consenting men having sex and refer to it as degeneracy. Are you saying sex is degeneracy? Because it's not. Or is it degeneracy because it's two men? I don't understand your argument there.
And that's it. It's just total fan service. There's no actual value of the character.
Right.
And oftentimes the sexual elements downplay the character's seriousness.
You keep cutting to dead or alive. So like clearly you're a fan. I'm trying to understand how it's hypocritical of Baldur's Gate 3 to depict real life characters growing attachment and having sex as part of a narrative. Like sex is a part of life. They're allowed to grow attracted to each other and have that. What are you trying to say?
That's what they think. No, I don't agree with any of this. I think it's fucking great if you've got girls in bikinis. I think they're hot, and that's all that I care about. Doesn't matter to me. What is this doing to the culture? I don't care. Like, what? I don't care. I just want to see. I want to see a good game. Like, that's it. Yeah, why would I care about what they think? Well, if you don't like this, don't play the fucking game. Like, I'm not gonna like. Why do I have to listen to you? But like, that is what their opinion is. Like, hopefully, I expressed what they think in kind of a fair way. I hope that I did.
Or the bust or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that's the problem. But this is.
I mean, I appreciate you including these little like cuts in your video, because even though it's, in my opinion, working against your argument, it's more honest that you're doing that. But you can see the difference. It's right in front of you.
Is full on. Pretty much you can call it porn. And that's what the hypocrisy come from.
How is it porn? Extremely reductive. Agree. Like, You could classify them both as softcore porn. The fact that there's nudity does not equal porn.
Like I said, if that's what you into, that's what you into. But gotta keep that same energy when it comes to these type of conversations.
Well, it's also because it's guys, right? Like you look at this dude, right? Where's this? This dude right here. Where's it? Both of these dudes are massively fucking in shape. Like, let's be honest. This guy doesn't go to Planet Fitness. This guy goes to Gold's Gym. All right? Assyrian maybe goes to Planet Fitness. I don't know, but they are both like good-looking guys.
Oh man,
in
that's
shape.
funny.
Both have a six-pack,
He don't
etc.
go to
Like
Planet
this is
Fitness,
not
he
the
goes to
average
Gold's.
male body. Okay, Assyrian, I don't know how to fucking say his name. Asterion. I don't know. But like what I'm saying is that there's a double standard with men and women, right? Where like if there's a thin woman with larger than average breasts, somehow this is an unrealistic standard that nobody should be expected. It's just disgusting.
Exactly. This is an unrealistic standard for men. I will concede that point. Is that, oh, you're creating this image of men that's not realistic. Fine. But it's equal on both sides in this game. And this is just a part of... This is just a part of the game, but it's a very small part of the game. It's not the focus. It's not like, oh, let's play Baldur's Gate 3 so that we can sexualize fantasy characters. That's not what it's about.
Right? But at the same time, you can have a guy here that looks like he could be on the stage of a bodybuilding competition. Maybe not quite, but he's at least on his way to that. And somehow that's totally fucking fine. Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I totally get it. But I think it's a male and female thing, too.
Porn.
Reverse the role.
And
Yeah,
that's where the hypocrisy come from. Like I said, if that's what you into, that's what you into. But gotta keep that same energy when it comes to these type of conversations and everything. Because I just don't think that's right. And you shouldn't, be on this high ground and then shame others for wanting to have their preference. But then it's totally okay. You engage in the same. You're engaging in just pure degeneracy.
Yeah.
But
you're really hung up on this term degeneracy when that was just a depiction of two men, consenting adults, enjoying a sexual experience together. Like, you're just being homophobic. So you're saying you're mad because people called you an incel for playing a game that's about putting girls in different bikini outfits, but then two gay men having sex is more degenerate. Pure degeneracy. You just said that. That's just a shit take, bro.
Fine, go ahead. That's what you into. That's what you into.
You keep saying that's what you into. That's what you into. Like, we get it. You're not into gay. We understand, but you're doing yourself a disservice for the argument that you were trying to make. What this video really should be about is that you hold double standards about depicting sex in video games, but instead you're just trying to shit on Baldur's Gate 3 for being more honest about sex and not making it the centric focus of the game. But you're just showing all these other games that make it a focus.
But that wraps this video up. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe button, because it definitely helps you out in the algorithm. And by the way, check out this shirt. This shirt right here is made by my brothers Keo Lancer and DX Strike. They have their own t-shirt company called Strike and Keo Tees. Official Business LLC. You can check out their website where you can find plenty of cool shirts. They also customize shirts, so if you're a content creator and want to have your own brand on the shirt, you can go check them out, talk with them. They can make you a shirt as well. And also, if you a non-profit organization or any kind of business as well, they give you some custom deals. So definitely go check them out. I'll leave the link in the description below. Remember, Strike and Keo Tees. And this is Mugen Lord signing off. See you Game Fiends later.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Mugen TV. Oh, so you must be excited about Project Mugen.
I mean, like, I agree with like what his point is. I don't think that it's necessarily like a Western and Eastern thing.
It's not. Like, how far east are we talking? Because there are game developers very close to Asia that design things tastefully. Like, I think you're more so talking about America versus Europe versus like Japan, Korea. That's what I took from that. So it's a trifecta of comparison, and all we're saying here is that like Europe has the best perspective on it. Yeah, agreed. That's all there is to it.
I don't really think so, like just in general. Because like there's a lot of Eastern games that release that like I'll link you all the video. There's a video. This is a good one. I think that like anybody that talks about this shit is good. Very incel. That you think the guy's an incel? Why is he an incel? What makes him?
I don't think he's an incel. I think he's been called an incel a lot. Case in point. But you know, this video doesn't really help the argument of disproving the accusation, because there's just getting angry about people enjoying a game that has this little depiction that's, first of all, some of it's very unrealistic. Druids turning into bears, mind flayers, having sex with like your player character, stuff like that. But even when you're just talking about the stuff that aims more towards realism, referring to gay sex between men as pure degeneracy, like those things don't help your argument. Those things make you look, they put you in a bad light. So it is what it is, I guess.
What makes him an incel? Yeah, like I don't think that there's anything about what he said that was being an incel. I hate the whole keep the same energy. Things should be judged on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
I kind of agree with that in a way.
It's a case-by-case basis, absolutely. It's not keep the same energy. There's no energy regulator who's going to go to each game developer and say, we got to keep the same energy here. Baldur's Gate 3 did this, so you gotta have the same Baldur's Gate 3 energy over here. Fuck off.
The keep the same energy, because it's like, whenever you judge one thing in one standard and another thing in another standard, what that indicates is that you actually don't have a principled stance on it. It's circumstantial. Which everything in life is circumstantial.
Right.
But in general, there's a lot of people that like, they don't really give a fuck if it's happening whenever it's something that they like. So they don't actually care about this. And like, I don't think this is the biggest deal. Most people are like this. There's no reason to get upset or angry about it. But like,
that's my point too. Like, I'm reacting to this because it's here in front of me and I have something to say about it. But at the end of the day, none of this matters. People are going to buy Dead or Alive. Tons of copies are going to sell. People are going to buy Baldur's Gate 3 and tons of copies are going to sell. It's very clear this guy did not care for Baldur's Gate 3. Fine.
Like, it's just worthy to take in mind. One of the main arguments is a lot of Eastern stuff tends to use younger characters or characters designed to look younger. I mean, like, none of the Dead or Alive beach volleyball characters were designed to look younger. Like, they're all obviously of age. Like, come on. What is this? Like, we're not, like, and I agree.
We're not saying younger in terms of less than 18, but he's saying, like, they all look like they're in their 20s.
Again, like, you want to talk about some weird, like, lolly shit. Yeah, I agree with you. But that's not really what I'm getting at. There's at least one. I haven't seen every single one. But I'm saying, like, in general, I don't think that's very common. Mary Rose, yeah, maybe they have one. People trying to push their realism agenda on games that aren't built upon that. It's annoying as fuck. I think that the problem what's annoying is that people think that their opinion matters on somebody else's video game.
That's true.
Like, if you don't like what a certain game is,
don't play it.
Or what's happening in a game,
Right.
then just don't play it. Like, there are games.
There's nothing about Dead or Alive that seems appealing. I can respect that some people want to play that game. Same thing with Street Fighter. For me, my evaluation of Street Fighter isn't like, oh, I don't like how they're sexualizing women. I just don't like arcade fighters. I'm not good at them. They require a certain level of skill that I don't have. That's my, calculation on do I want to play this game. But for some people, it's about whether or not there's a boob slider, I guess.
Games that have lolly stuff in them, I just don't play the game. Like, I'm not on a crusade.
And I did say that in kind of a tone that implied that they're lesser. They're not. I'm just being a dingus.
To get them banned. I just don't consume that kind of content because I'm not a fan of it. That's it. So, like, instead of trying to get the world to change, why don't you just change what you look at in the world? Just stop focusing on shit that just makes you mad.
Well put.
I'll link you all the video again. Why can't they simply censor one character if that's the issue, not the whole game? It's because it's people that have a chip on their shoulder and they want the rest of the world to carry their cross.
Hey guys, it's Moogie Lord here,
That's
and
all
today...
it is. And it is so exhausting.
Curious to read some of the comments on
for this shit. Armored Core 6? Yeah, we're going to look at one other thing, then we're going to look at we're going to start playing Armored Core. That's where I'm thinking. People want to be moralists? Nah, people want other people to be moralists for them.
Man.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's still the same general thing, Final Fantasy 16 got on a lot of negative reception for being too horny with characters like Benedicta. I never even read that. I don't think that's even true. Benedicta was a thought, but she wasn't she wasn't even in the game. Like, that's the thing, is like, anybody that actually played all the way through Final Fantasy 16, Benedicta is there for like 1/3 or 1/5 of the game. She's not even in the majority of the game.
The same argument I would make about Baldur's Gate 3 and sex scenes. Unless you're constantly choosing, like, let's have sex options, it's such a small aspect of the game. So what if it prompts you at some times that you're not expecting? They're putting it out there. You say no, you move on. Like, it's a bit of fan service for people who are into that. It sells some copies, but it's not the focus.
Yeah, so it's like anybody that has that opinion, it's basically like you say that, and it's like, okay, that means that you didn't actually, you don't actually know what you're talking about. You didn't actually play the game, right?
Right.
You out yourself, yeah.
And it's very obvious that guy didn't play Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I've sunk a lot of hours into that game. That's not the focus.
She's not even an important character, really. She's a character like you deal with for like the first 2 hours, 3 hours of the game, and then she's done.
$200 for a skin.
And half right, how the issue relates to both genders is shown. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just, again, that's just the way our culture is. Western removing Buddhist symbol because it reminds of a certain group. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, I mean, I know you're talking about the swastika and shit, but like, I don't really know exactly like when that happened. That's not why people got mad about Benedicta. They got mad because her character was chasing dudes and her story was basically like, oh, she almost got abused, and boom, that's it.
What?
Yeah, I think that, again, it's like these.
Man, all her character was chasing dudes, then her story was basically, oh, she almost got or did get abused. Okay. I don't know. I didn't play that game, so.
These are, there's like certain girls that are like on social media and stuff that like get really angry whenever there's like women that are shown in like a submissive or negative perception. Like they have something to prove. And I think that's a very unhealthy outlook on life. Not based off of the outlook itself, but the problem in the Co video. Yeah, I guess we'll watch the Co Carnage video. Yeah, we'll look at this one. We'll look at this one tomorrow. It's a sad outlook on life because you're trying to change the way the world.
This is the perfect follow-up to whatever that was, because this guy's takes on Baldur's Gate 3 are going to be honest, thorough, and complete. He played through the game. I've played through the game. I know exactly how he's going to feel about this. And it's going to be positive because it's a fantastic game. Play it now. I'm such a like evangelical Baldur's Gate 3 fan.
Looks at things. Like anytime that you try to change the world, you're going to be unhappy. Like especially in terms of how people feel.
Sure.
There's those self-righteous game reviewers need an excuse to write longer, meaningless paragraphs into reviews to feel like they have English degrees of no purpose. No gamers actually felt that way. Yeah, exactly. Nobody really thinks this.
Fair.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody gives a fuck. Great outlook for life. It is a great outlook. I would much rather be a person that focused on myself than focused on trying to change people's opinions on the fucking internet.
Sure.
It's the biggest waste of time of your life. Like, if you ever gotten in an argument with somebody on the internet, and then, like, a week later you think back on how stupid you are for even engaging in it?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is I don't plan to engage anybody about this conversation. I'm just speaking into the void. Agree or disagree, by all means.
Even considering, like, especially, like, a fucking... New Don Hung trailer released 2 minutes ago? Yeah, I might look at that. I don't even remember the argument. Yeah, it's just, it's a waste of time.
Hey everybody, Co here with another Thoughts video, the second one on Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because, frankly, pretty much everything I said in the first Thoughts video rings true and goes right into this one. I have now completed Baldur's Gate 3 in, I believe, just under 150 hours.
Wow.
Close to 2,500.
That's about as much time as it took me to beat the first Elden Ring.
Quick saves. And I have to say, now that I'm done...
Not the first Elden, my first playthrough of Elden
Baldur's Gate 3 is an incredibly special, unique, and magnificent game.
Bro, yes. Like, this is what you tell people right before you tell them they're going to lose or they're going to get kicked off the show.
There have been no other games that I have played that have attempted really to do what this game does. It is really a pinnacle of what a CRPG can be. And frankly, I thoroughly enjoyed every single second I spent in this game.
Yes.
This is a game that when it is, you know what?
Like, I would say the last time that I felt that way about a game was Elden Ring.
And that's what I haven't played Elden Ring, but a lot of people feel that way about Elden Ring. That's what I mean is, yes, this is turn-based combat, but there's no other game in this genre like Baldur's Gate 3. It sets a new standard. It hugely surpasses it. It takes a giant leap forward. It's amazing.
Like, minus like maybe like 40 minutes on that bird boss, but besides that, I enjoyed every second of it.
When it's
minus those 40 minutes though,
will possibly be a game that is not going to be surpassed for years and years and years to come.
Yeah,
it
like
is
20 years.
It is a tribute and testament to how incredible games can be as a whole. And it is trying to do things and in some ways achieving what I would argue most other games, it's not even on their radar. This game is...
There are studios that say, this is too much, let's not do this. Like, this doesn't help our bottom line, so don't over-engineer. This game over-engineers without expectations of return. It just wants to have... Larian just wants to have a great reputation, and they've achieved it. And all these memes coming out about other game studios being pissed off about how good this game is, like, it does kind of ring true in the sense that it's like, hey, other game studios do better.
One of the most immersive experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
It has some of the most freeform gameplay I've ever seen.
You get so attached to the characters, not because of sex, but just because of how well the backstories and everything are written and the interactions you have throughout the story. And at the end, I cried. I'm a more emotional being, so that was part of it. But for those who are more emotional, you do grow a bit of an attachment to some of the characters. There are characters you like, there are characters you kind of despise in some cases, and you get emotional about it. It's cool.
It has some of the most passion I've ever seen in a project.
Yeah.
It has some of the most thoroughness I've seen in a project, and we'll return to this in a minute.
Big time.
And frankly, again, just from beginning to end, I had a smile on my face.
Thoroughness in the sense that, like, I haven't followed D&D lore very much, but my impression from other D&D fans has been this game really touches on some of the history. Like, even when you pick up a book and it talks about some of the lore that exists in the D&D universe, it nails it. They did their research.
I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was fantastic. Now, as this is a video specifically about the final thoughts, particularly me finishing the game, I want to say that everything I've said up to this point, I fundamentally believe in, and I 100% feel is true. However, I think it's important to mention, if Act 1 is 100, Act 2 is between 90 and 95.
Yeah.
And Act 3 is between 70 and 80.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard
it does drop off. That's fair. That's fair. But if you spend your time, like, you really get your value's worth out of that first act. And then you're invested, and like Act 2 and Act 3 are very fun. But they're not Act 1.
This criticism a lot, this feedback a lot, that like the game kind of it's like the Dark Souls 1 situation, right? Where like at the Dark Souls 1, like the first half of the game is just the greatest experience of all time, and then like the second half, like Lost Izalith, you know, you just kind of get through it.
This game is not finished.
But that part kind of excites me, because the game just came out. It's been less than a month. So, like, there's so much room to grow. And the studio has officially responded in saying that it would be like a serious undertaking, but a dungeon master mode, a game master mode is possible. It's just, it would take a lot of work. And their focus is probably going to be ironing out all the bugs that are being discovered over time. I've highlighted a few of them in some of the clips I have on Twitch. And man, like, they probably want to try and make multiplayer really fun, maybe come up with some more content. Apparently there was some content that was extracted because it just wasn't finished. So like, there's going to be some expansions, I bet. And one of those expansions, I think, even if it was paid content, I think a lot of people would pay for a Dungeon Master Mode expansion. I could see that. Huge. So much replay value already. And then adding that, man. Some of those D&D parties that are really hard to put together suddenly have like a huge incentive because you can like create your own worlds. That's one of the big appeals to Divinity Original Sin 2. But being able to play in the D&D 5e context would change the game for them.
And if you want the full experience of this game, I would probably wait a couple patches.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why that is.
It's the same thing I've said about reviewing games with early access. Even after a game comes full release, the development cycle nowadays, games are not finished when they release. Games are finished after the first few patches, arguably in my head, when they first go on sale. That's when you know, okay, this game's probably ready to be played. But I didn't want to wait.
We have spoken so much about how this game sets the bar, how it does things that no other game has even tried to do, how the first act is just a beginning to end phenomenal experience. But here's something we're not really talking a lot about, and I feel that this is important to mention. This game not only sets the bar externally, but it sets the bar internally. And what do I mean by that? I mean that Act 3 does not meet the bar of Act 1.
Yeah, sure. I think that's fair. I mean, like, every game is probably not perfect. I mean, shit. People said that about like Elden Ring and like the caves, that the caves were really repetitive and the bosses were really repetitive.
And someone's making a good point. Act 1 had 3 years of early access. So many people playing it, so much opportunity for feedback and things getting ironed out. We didn't see Act 2 and Act 3 until now. So there was a lot of room for improvement and opportunity for improvement.
They're right. It's true. Yeah.
It feels
Nothing's
like
perfect,
two
yeah.
different studios made those acts. Act 1...
It could have been different teams.
I, at no point, felt any hesitation in doing every single thing I wanted to do. Every time I did something, my whole party reacted to it. It was rock solid. It felt amazing, and I
Right.
just was 100% immersed.
Yeah.
Act 3, I felt like I was constantly looking over my back to make sure that something wasn't working improperly. I frequently was surprised that things were not reacting to things that I did.
Right.
Things would not react as I expected them to.
I can see that to be like a good point, because like at the beginning of the game, maybe there's like more like secondary interactions from characters, and then throughout the game it doesn't happen as much because there isn't as much development time put into that. Is that pretty much where he's coming from?
Yeah, it does fall off.
My party and
That's
NPCs would
correct.
talk about things that didn't exist, or I hadn't done yet, or I did a different way.
Right.
And it got to the point where
It does reach a point, you know, when it talks about tying off loose ends, there are some interactions with your companions where if you don't interact with them during kind of the context of when it happens, those voice lines still kind of like linger, where you can still ask those questions about those things when they've transpired a different way. One of them was definitely a bug in which, spoiler alert for those who don't want spoilers, but Shadowheart and Lae'zel have a falling out and question each other's loyalty, and I had it roll a certain way where Lae'zel killed Shadowheart, and Lae'zel talks about like, oh, I killed her, but I had a bug where Shadowheart didn't die. She's still a part of my playthrough now. And then they started interacting like it hadn't happened, but I had interactions with the character where it was like, oh, Shadowheart made her choice. She didn't tell us why. You know, she was hiding the artifact, so we had to do away with her. And then Shadowheart also said, like, oh, like, Lae'zel was being hostile, like, we had to deal with it. Thanks for backing me up on that. Like, but there's so much good about the game that you can overlook those things, knowing that there's time and opportunity for those things to be fixed. And in a couple patches, they'll fix those things. Right now, the focus is stability, making sure the game runs well. Then they start ironing out the bugs. Then they focus on maybe some new content. Maybe that also includes a Dungeon Master mode. Who knows what the future holds. But this game sets a new standard externally for all studios to step it up and come out with more feature-complete products. It's so good.
where that phenomenal facade that Act 1 and Act 2 built.
Act 2 was really good
started
too.
to crumble a bit. And I started to, instead of it being this kind of immersive CRPG paradise, there were times in Act 3 when I was like, yeah, this is just a game. Not all of Act 3, mind you.
Okay.
Like I said, 70 to 80% of it feels great.
More of the side quest stuff. The main act, not the main act, the main quest line, the main story, still good. Still really good. But any of the like secondary stuff that you do, it doesn't feel like it was totally ready. So
same quality. I loved the area of Baldur's Gate. I loved some of the locations. Many of my favorite aspects of this game are in Act 3.
Okay.
Mine too.
The whole picture.
There's a part of me that like wants to get into Baldur's Gate as quickly as possible. Like, I've just found my way into Rivington, and I want to like almost blow through everything as quick as I can, but I'll take my time. This is my second playthrough. I've already seen it, but I really enjoyed that area.
Needs more time to cook. And one thing I want to make sure that I mention here is that if there's any company that I feel will develop this to what I feel like it deserves to be,
Larian.
It is Larian Studios. When I first played Divinity...
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, it's not like they probably haven't heard this, and they were probably like, okay, this is good enough, we're going to get it out there, and, you know, by the time people play through it, you know, we'll have the rest of it ready. I think that's usually what happens.
Original Sin 2, my final
I would
act
expect
was
them to
so
fix it.
buggy that I had key characters in the final fight that I had killed earlier in the game.
Ooh.
It was a total mess.
He's
Yeah.
a necromancer.
That's kind of what happened as I described with Shadowheart and Lae'zel. That stuff happens. I imagine with my playthrough, like, there's quite a few characters who are either like not part of my party anymore or who have died, and I might see them. I'm very interested to see if that happens.
Within a year's time, when I played it again another time, the entire game, pretty much, was rock solid.
Right.
And I have absolutely no doubt that Larian Studios will do that exact same thing with Baldur's Gate 3.
Right.
So, in this final thoughts video, I want to stress that Baldur's Gate 3 is one of, if not the best game I've ever played. It is, especially the first 2 acts.
Wow.
One of the most
Holy
incredible
shit.
gaming experiences.
I've been saying this from the start. This game makes me feel the way KOTOR has made me feel. Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, since 2003. I haven't played a game like this since 2003. I play KOTOR almost every year to celebrate like how good that game is. And it never stops being fun. This is like that new KOTOR for me. It puts me in a universe that's so fun to enjoy, and I can overlook some of the buggy things that happen and chuckle, realizing, you know, some development needs to happen. But it's so rock solid for so many other reasons that I can't fault it.
Experiences I've ever experienced. And I play a lot of games.
Yeah.
This game
I
bleeds
would
passion.
trust his opinion
This
a
game's
lot.
amazing. This game is awesome. And if you are even slightly a fan of this type of game, even if you aren't, I think you may absolutely love this game.
It's not like other turn-based role-playing games. This is unlike anything you've played.
If you are in a position where you can give it some more time to cook, I would probably recommend you do that.
Maybe
Or-
I'll use that as the excuse why I haven't played it yet from now on.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I really
It needs
appreciate
time
this
to
video.
cook,
Now
guys.
I finally have an excuse to say why I haven't played it yet.
I would recommend you take it very slow. As Larian has already said, they have
Oh,
major
that's great.
patches on the way.
Fair enough.
So just
Go for
something
it.
to consider when you play this game. Do I think the game
Okay.
is playable right now? I do. But I do think you need to go in with it expecting the last little bit to maybe not be quite as rock solid as the first bit of the game.
I mean, I feel like a lot of games have this problem, right? Where it's like the last part of the game isn't really as great as the beginning.
It's almost like the same philosophy you take with a YouTube video. If you want retention, you want people to stick around to the end of the video, the first part of the video has to be captivating until people have sunk enough time where they're willing to stick around. I'm still having trouble with that myself. Those of you who have made it this far, thanks so much. Appreciate you. All 2 of you. That's optimistic.
Beginning. I mean, I think Dark Souls 1 was like this. I think Dark Souls 2 was like this. And like, yeah, most games, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know about most games, like, I'm trying to think, like, Final Fantasy 16. No, I feel like it was good all the way through. Sekiro, no,
that's
I
nice.
think as the opposite. I think Sekiro just got better over time. Not Halo 3, not a shot. It's Halo 3. Yeah, I Final Fantasy 16 dragged. I feel like it didn't. I feel like it kind of got things. It got things out of the way quick enough. Hogwarts.
Didn't play it.
Yeah, maybe a bit. Yeah, maybe a bit. Like, I mean, the last fight in Hogwarts was really good. I was actually really sad whenever I did the last fight against that guy, like Ramcock or Ramrock or whatever the hell he was. Because I thought, like, that fight was so well designed. And it's like, why didn't we have this for the whole game?
And
New
kind of just,
World.
you know,
Yeah,
take
New
that with
World.
it.
Perfect
So again,
example.
TLDR, 3 thumbs up for this game. I absolutely loved it.
What's the third
Not
thumb?
a flawless product, but still, even with all its flaws,
Third thumb?
one of the best games I've ever played. Thanks for watching. I will see you next Thoughts video. Stop by the channel at twitch.tv/GoCarnage. Give us a hi. And I appreciate you. Bye-bye.
What a nice wholesome video. Wow. I'll link you guys it and take a look at it.
Perfect.
Let's see this here. And yeah, I mean, I think every game, it's the same thing I said with Elden Ring, right? Is like Elden Ring, like I have some controversial opinions on Elden Ring. Like I said, Melania isn't a good boss. I don't think that she is. And there's a lot of other things like I kind of wish that were different, right? But look, I mean, I still think it's a great game. Almost every game is not perfect. It is very hard for me to think of a perfect game. And like the truth is, like, I think Sekiro is probably, at least in my mind, the closest thing to a perfect
Mass
game.
Effect 2, Halo 2. These are not perfect games. They're good games, but they're not perfect. Hollow Cure, apparently. Skate 3.
Game that you can get to. At least that, like, I can think of, like, off the top of my head. And
someone said Chrono Trigger. I could see Chrono Trigger being a big one. XCOM 2. I should get back into XCOM 2. I never finished it.
Past.
Diablo 2. Super Mario Brothers 2. Stardew. I'm sure a lot of people really like Stardew.
Man. Dude, do you remember back Link to the Past and like the key art and the fan art that they had of it? Where like it was some fucking dark fantasy, like legend, like Lord of the Rings, like fucking Frazetta level, like terror and shit. And then they took that into Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask was so fucking dark they didn't even do as much of that stuff because the game did it on its own. And then they brought out that Wind Waker cartoon bullshit, and I lost my fucking mind.
I've never played Wind Waker for that reason. It feels too like family friendly compared to the other Zelda games. And I didn't actually play the Game Boy titles. I should, because I've heard they're really fun. But yeah, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, so cool.
I was so mad. I was fucking furious they did that. I got Diablo 4 over Diablo 4 by playing Lost Ark. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, there you go. Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past. Yeah, like I'm saying, like there are games that are perfect, but I feel like many of the most perfect games are perfect because they are more limited in scope. And the larger the scope of a game, the more the game, it's harder for that game to achieve that level of perfection.
Which is what makes Baldur's Gate 3 so surprising and leaves so much room for potential, because we're in a different stage. Like, we're referring to games where back in the day they released as final products and like they were quite feature complete. I think Star Wars KOTOR does a good job of that because it felt pretty feature complete and it had a limited scope. Like it wasn't a massive place to explore, but it felt big. It felt like there was a lot of choice and your choices mattered. That's what made it so cool.
Like Super Mario World, perfect game. 96 exits, but that's it. You know,
nobody has
relatively
mentioned
small scope.
KOTOR. Some people are saying Skyrim.
Metroid Prime. I never beat Metroid Prime. I always wanted to play the remastered one. I never did it.
Red Dead
starts
Redemption
losing
2.
its identity. Well, I think it's also just like
It's
more
pretty good.
variables, and also like every variable that comes up is an opportunity for it not to be good. The Link Between Worlds. I think I did play that one actually. Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
This is a very good
Mass
video.
Effect 2.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2.
Very great video, and I'm glad to see this. You enjoyed the new Conrad. If it's really fun, if you enjoyed Vaulton. Yeah, I need to play Lost Ark again. I've just been busy, man.
Metroid.
Halo 3 is basically perfect. I think that
Halo 3 is very good. It's not perfect.
I think if you want to go in terms of like campaign quality, I think Halo 1 and Halo 3 campaigns are about equal, and I think
Yeah, and the rest of the games kind of fall off. But what makes Halo 3 have such staying power was the Forge. Being able to create your own fun with your friends and go onto like a marketplace and download other people's designed maps, like that was so great.
Halo 2 is like Halo 1 and Halo 3 are a 10, and Halo 2 is like a 9.5 or a 9.8.
Yeah,
that's what I
agreed.
Think. Halo 2 was all right, but I just think
Titanfall
Halo
2,
3
Age
and
of
Halo
Empires
1 was
2,
just fucking nuts.
Gears of War 2.
Jackal Snipers, never forget.
Jackal
never
Snipers.
fucking forget that shit.
Oh my
Getting
god.
beamed without
So
even seeing
brutal.
them, man. Reach is a 10 also. I never played the Reach
When you're
campaign.
playing on Legendary and a Jackal Sniper just takes your head off and you have to go back to the checkpoint. Ugh. So annoying.
I only played multiplayer because it was over at Jeff's house. Let's see here. Make sure I don't miss anything else to cover, and then after that, we're going to do a little bit of Armored Core. So I'm pretty excited about that. What about Spartan Assault, people? I'm not sure really if that's even going to be it. I have no idea. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have the gamer stuff. I'm actually getting a cup. I wanted to tell you guys this. I'm trying to get a cup and get them to make the cup, but I'm concerned that if they want me to, like, I want the character for the cup, I want them to tell me that there's something like it's too gratuitous or too there's something wrong with it, basically. Yeah, make it as lewd as possible. Yeah, I've already got an idea for what it's gonna be. Like Techie, no, I'm gonna make it worse than that. Yeah, I'm gonna make it even more degenerate. I just don't know what it's gonna be. What flavor? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But to me, it's just about.
I mean, it has to be called Big Dick, right? Because he always mentions big dicking it.
Making a good character. But yeah, we have the OTK, and they're actually giving out the free stuff now. I didn't even know this. I thought actually you had to pay for it, but apparently you just use OTK and you get free shit here. So I figured, I think Nick posted that. And what is this? Donald Trump? Absolutely.
Mugshot released.
Bathwater flavor? I don't know if it's bathwater flavor. That might be a bit much, man. Check SFan Twitter. I made something in Armored Core 6. I'll have to look at it. Let's go to this gay for a free sample. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Holy shit. What is this here? Oh.
Oh, God. That was great. It's just, am I conscripted? Meow.
I don't know why. I just thought that shit was funny. Let's see what else. Oh, Tectone has he really fucking got it twisted.
Likes this game.
And he's unlocked every character in HoloCure. Can you fucking believe that? Holy shit.
I can believe that.
That's crazy. What's this? Oh yeah, I saw this. The my first 10 minutes of the interview, 20 million people saw this shit. Can you believe that? Just an interview with Donald Trump.
20 million impressions.
I feel like we are going to have a very, very entertaining next 12 months.
I bet.
Yeah, watch it. How long is it? Fake number? You think it's fake? I don't think it's
40
fake.
minutes. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I actually don't think so. It's 40 minutes? Maybe I'll look at that. I don't know. Let's see. What else is there? Oh, Barney making a new video. Oh, and I've already seen all of these. Okay, good. Now let's go ahead And let's get involved with a certain game. Now, gentlemen.
Armored Core 6. Now, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that's all from me. You have a great weekend. Happy Friday.